time to run them back. Ready for game 2, and they are ready here at Dodger Stadium. Big Blue is alive and well, and their Dodgers winning game 1 of this NLCS. The 2017 National League Championship Series is presented by Camping World. Picture perfect night, little on the warm side here on a Sunday in Los Angeles with the Chicago Cubs, winners of the National League Central Division, against the Los Angeles Dodgers, winners of the National League West, and the team with the best record in Major League Baseball this year. Hi, everybody. We welcome you from Dodger Stadium. Great to have you with us. I'm Brian Anderson along with Ron Darling. Sam Ryan is our reporter. We'll hear from her in just a moment. Well, yesterday the Dodgers got the win. They are 4-0 in the postseason now. They have steamrolled their opponent, Iran. Now the question is for the Chicago Cubs, how do they answer? You know, it's hard. We're talking about the world champions here, and I think the only way they get back in it is somehow they start slugging the baseball. And I'm talking about scoring early and scoring often. This bullpen has been amazing for the Dodgers all postseason. I've watched the Cubs now for 6 games. They have not hit like they can. Chris Bryant has not been the person that looks like an MVP. Javi Baez, despite his great prowess defensively, hasn't got a hit in the postseason. They got to start hitting. Well, postseason success usually lies in the bullpen, right? And the Los Angeles Dodger bullpen has been on lockdown this postseason. I mean, can you imagine taking Clayton Kershaw out of the game after 5 innings? But you can do that when the Dodgers have been so good in the post. And conversely, Joe Madden, it seems every single move he makes, other than going to Wade Davis, has been really a bad move. They have not gotten the outs. Their ERA 7.08 for the bullpen. Well, Joe Madden is hoping that his bullpen is well rested. Didn't need most of his better relievers yesterday, so that puts a lot of emphasis on the starting pitchers tonight. The Cubs are going to go with John Lester. The Dodgers go with Rich Hill. And Ronnie, these are 2 left-handers that shined on this stage last season. Well, they did. Rich Hill, of course, 6 shutout innings in Game 3 against the Cubs. But more importantly, October is when John Lester shines. This is his 21st start. Last year he was the co-MVP of the National League Championship Series, and they need him not only to pitch well, but to go deep. Well, the Chicago Cubs are hoping to even up this series before they head back to Wrigley Field in Chicago. The Dodgers, they're trying to go up 2-0 before they hit the road. It's time for Game 2. Lineups, first pitch, coming your way next from Dodger Stadium on TBS. Well, it is mid-October, but has that summer feel. It is warm here in Los Angeles. Temperature soaring into the 90-degree range as we get ready for first pitch tonight. 93 currently as we are set up for Game 2 of the National League Championship Series. Rich Hill, as we mentioned, on the mound for the Dodgers. The long and winding road continues. And for more on Rich Hill, let's check in with Sam Ryan. How you doing, Sam?
That it was indeed, Brian. One of the remarkable resurrection stories in Major League Baseball. He's 37 years old, drafted 3 times, eventually drafted, developed, and brought up through the Chicago Cubs system. But injuries taking their toll. He had shoulder injuries, elbow injuries, Tommy John surgery eventually. If you look at his resume, 8 major league teams he played for, a myriad of minor league teams. In 2015, he wasn't on a major league roster, played independent baseball for the Long Island Ducks, but major league teams started to notice Rich Hill once again, back with the Dodgers in 2016. Pitching coach Rick Honeycutt told me that this year they worked on modifying his windup a bit, and that's really when he started to find something to refocus on. They noticed the difference second half of the season, guys.
Sam, it's not surprising a Long Island girl gets in the Long Island Ducks.
Yes, she does. And Rich Hill is on the mound, ready to go. He pitched a gem last year in the NLCS here at Dodger Stadium, Game 3 against the Chicago Cubs. Let's look at the starting lineup that Rich Hill will face here tonight. Turned in by Joe Madden. It is presented by Camping World. John Jay back in the leadoff spot. Bryant hits second. Anthony Rizzo bats third. In the middle goes Wilson Contreras. Albert Almora, who hit his first home run of the postseason yesterday. Addison Russell at shortstop batting 6th, and then the only change is Jason Hayward. He is back in there. The Gold Glover is in right field. Javi Baez and John Lester round out the starting 9 that will match up against Rich Hill. Pitcher profile, Ronnie, presented by State Farm. What do you have?
Well, kind of an abbreviated first start in the NLDS against Arizona. Only went 4 innings, gave up 2 runs, 4 strikeouts. It was the home run by Goldschmidt that made that outing abbreviated. And the defense behind Rich Hill this afternoon is going to be the same, or this evening, the same lineup that they had yesterday against the left-hander. Kike Hernandez, the left, Taylor and Puig, all with great arms. Turner, Culberson, Forsythe, and Bellinger. You know that Seager is out for this series. And, of course, Austin Barnes doing the catching.
We'll have more news from Sam on Corey Seager and how he is coming along with the back injury. 14 defensive runs saved in the outfield for the Dodgers. That is tied for the best in the National League. But keep an eye on center field and right field in these first couple of innings, because it is a tough sun field right now in the twilight part of the night on this very hot Sunday evening. Crowd still filing in. They're all on the freeways. They're all outside trying to make their way through the gates. When it's all said and done, it'll be a capacity crowd near 55,000.
Interesting what you just said. Yasiel Puig just pointed to the sky to let the infielders know, point where the ball is, just in case I lose it.
Rich Hill ready to go. Game's first pitch is in there for a strike, and away we go in Game 2 of the NLCS. Home plate umpire tonight is Todd Tichenor, umpiring his first league championship series. Gets the plate for Game 2. 6-man umpiring crew in place for the postseason, and the replay umpire is Eric Cooper. He is situated in Chelsea, New York, in the Replay Review Center. And Jay takes a strike, and it's quickly 0-2 on the Cubs leadoff man.
When Rich Hill is on time, he makes it look easy. You'll see a lot of curveballs. 40% of the time he's throwing that hook.
His signature pitch, the curveball, and he misses down and away to the lefty Jay. First inning is always key for a starting pitcher, especially for Rich Hill. His earned run average in the first inning this season was over 6. 6.12 the ERA, and as Ron mentioned, 2-run homer by Paul Goldschmidt in the first inning of his Game 2 start in the NLDS against the Diamondbacks.
Both Hill and Lester struggle in the first inning. Be worth watching.
2 balls, 2 strikes, and Jay serves one into left center. That's going to get down, a base hit. Hernandez cuts it off, and John Jay continues to have a terrific postseason for the Chicago Cubs. He took the collar last night But he is on base with a single.
Just fastball away. Reverse kind of splits for Rich Hill. He struggles sometimes against left-handed hitting, and John Jay dumps a hit in front of Hernandez.
Throughout the course of the year, left-handed hitters hit .255 against Rich Hill. Right-handers only .190, and therein lies the reverse splits. And so Joe Maddon does not mind at all, rolling in 4 left-handed batters in his starting 9 here tonight, including his pitcher, John Lester.
Maddon with his bench coach, Dave Martinez.
It was a grind for Joe Maddon and Dave Martinez last night, trying to figure out how they were going to get to the finish line with a beat-up bullpen as Chris Bryant with a swing and a miss.
Joe didn't even make it to the finish line as he was thrown out of the ball game last night.
He couldn't stand to watch anymore and got ejected on that much talked about play at the plate. And we had a long conversation with Joe Maddon before the game about that. 1 ball, 1 strike on Chris Bryant. And that big slow curveball by Rich Hill. Bryant's out in front, and it's 1-2.
It's not only that Chris Bryant has been struggling, it's just that it's not only that he's struggling to make contact. 11 strikeouts in the postseason so far.
Bryant has 5 hits so far in the postseason. He's 5 for 24. Does have 2 runs batted in. 2-strike pitch, and Bryant skies one to right. Puig didn't see it right away. That ball's carrying to the track, and Puig makes the catch. John Jay has to retreat. That is a heck of a play early in this game when you consider the conditions of the sun in that area.
Well, I told you before first pitch, he was pointing to his infielders to help him out. Both outfielders went for it. Finally, Puig kind of calls off Chris Taylor as he gets close to that wall.
Fighting it all the way, had the better angle. You can see the shadows for these outfielders directly behind on the wall. This sun is setting basically behind home plate here this time of year at Dodger Stadium. That was a heck of a play, and the first out for Rich Hill and the Dodgers. Here is Rizzo now. He gets a first pitch curveball. If that fly ball by Bryant tells you nothing else, the ball is really flying here at Dodger Stadium tonight. That had some serious carry to it. Rizzo able to lay off a curve. Back-to-back curveballs against Anthony Rizzo. 1 ball, 1 strike on the top RBI man for the Chicago Cubs this season. Drove in 102 during the regular season. 3 consecutive years driving in triple digits.
Barnes waiting for Rizzo to get set before he drops the sign down.
And a fastball is in there for a strike. It's about as much as you'll get out of the Rich Hill fastball. He's 88, 91 miles an hour. He relies on command, and he'll get a lot of strikeouts up in the strike zone. That one caught the bottom of the strike zone, and Hill gets the call. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
You know, it's interesting. We've watched Austin Barnes now for the last couple of nights. He loves to snap that ball back up in the strike zone as he's trying to frame it.
I would imagine Rich Hill is a great pitcher to catch in that regard. He's always right around the strike zone with the fastball. There's the big bender and a strikeout. A K for Hill against Rizzo, his first strikeout of the game. 2 outs in the inning. It's not just the break, it is the change of pace on this curveball.
That's the key, is that the spin rate is fantastic, so the break is large, but the differential between his fastball and his curveball, miles per hour, is so big that Rizzo was way out in front of that pitch.
Hill had an ERA of 3.32 this season, was much better at home. And in his postseason career, very high strikeout number per 9 at 11.7 strikeouts per 9 innings. Wilson Contreras back in the cleanup spot for the Chicago Cubs here today. Did have a hit yesterday. Contreras had a line drive single up the middle. He was on ahead of Albert Almora, who hit the 2-run homer to give the Chicago Cubs the early lead yesterday.
When you think of the Dodgers and Kershaw and Hill back-to-back, talking about two of the best left-handed starting pitcher curveballs in all of baseball.
Kershaw 5 innings yesterday, giving up 2 runs. And a strike. Back in there with a fastball, and Rich Hill in a 2-1 count on Contreras. John Lester awaiting yet another postseason start for him. He has been at his best when the stakes are at their highest.
See Contreras shaking his head almost like he can't see it well up there. I think your approach, if you're a right-handed hitter against Hill, is you have to try to hit the ball up the middle to right field. Stay back as long as you can, or you're just going to end up hitting foul balls down the third base line.
He's gone. A strikeout to end the inning. Back-to-back Ks. Rich Hill puts up a 0. And now John Lester on the mound for the Cubs. Lineup for the Los Angeles Dodgers. It is brought to you by Camping World. He has the same position players lined up the same way as he had for Game 1 with Taylor Turner and Bellinger, Kike Hernandez, Logan Forsythe, and Austin Barnes, Yasiel Puig, Charlie Culberson with back-to-back starts with Corey Seager not on the NLCS roster. Hill rounding out the starting 9, and it'll be John Lester on the mound for Chicago. John Lester in his last 2 postseasons, a 3-1 record and a stellar 1.99 ERA, including the 2 starts last year in the NLCS that earned him co-MVP honors along with Javi Baez.
Well, that's the numbers from last year and this year. 2016 finished second in the Cy Young Award voting. 21st postseason start.
Facing Chris Taylor to start it for Los Angeles, who hit his first career postseason home run last night, and it was a big one. Gave the Dodgers a lead. Dodgers would not relinquish that lead. en route to their Game 1 victory last night. He'll ask if he went. He does go, unable to check his swing, and it goes to a ball and 2 strikes. Big moment last night, not only for the Dodgers but for Chris Taylor.
It was the first hitter that Rondon faced, and it became a home run. Ball really carrying to right center field, but Taylor 21 home runs in the regular season.
2 for 4 last night, Taylor. As Lester deals a 1-2, hit hard, but right at second base. Baez will make the play, and Lester retires his first batter faced.
Defensively behind Lester for the Cubs, the most important person on that field. Good infield defense, great outfield defense is Jason Hayward in right field. We talked about Puig and Taylor chasing that fly ball. Hayward in right field with all that experience, that should come in handy this afternoon.
Hayward not in the starting lineup yesterday. Madden instead going with Schwarber in left, which had Jay in right yesterday. Hayward does get the start, even though there is a left-hander on the mound in Rich Hill. We gave you those reverse splits, so that was a moot point for the skipper. And Schwarber will be available off the bench here for Game 2. Justin Turner takes strike 1. Turner has been one of the great postseason hitters that the Dodgers have. But Turner has struggled against John Lester in his career as he hits that one hard into center field. Almora's on the run, and he makes the catch. What a play by Albert Almora Jr. Wow. With the sun factor. Up against the wall, reaches up at the last moment to haul it in.
Sunglasses on the top of his head. Every center fielder will tell you the ball directly over your head, hit on the line, is the most difficult play to make. And Almora Jr. made that look easy.
So skilled in center field, hit the home run last night. This guy is emerging as a clutch postseason performer, and a mini fist pump, glove pump by John Lester. 2 outs in the inning. Here comes Cody Bellinger now. And he drops a bunt down. Coming in on the plate, Brian Barehand. Throw to first, and it's in time. That was close. The naked eye looked like he beat it, and they will most certainly want to take a look at this one.
Bellinger had 6 bunt base hits this season. Nice play by Bryant with the bare hand, and bang bang at first base.
And Dave Roberts says no challenge. Dodgers agree with the call, and we will carry on. It was close by the length of the spike. It's a 3-up, 3-down inning for Lester. Up as we head to the second inning here in game 2. You can live every postseason moment with MLB.com at bat, the #1 app for live baseball. It's the only place to get it all: live radio feeds, video highlights, pitch tracking, StatCast, and much more. Download MLB.com at bat today. Albert Almora Jr. will lead off for the Cubs here in the second inning. Rich Hill back to work. Hill with 2 strikeouts in the first inning. Gave up a leadoff single to John Jay and then retired the next 3 hitters. And the Dodgers go in order against Lester in the first. And we've already seen some very good defense in this game. Nice catch turned in by Yasiel Puig. Almora had a beautiful catch in the first inning, and that was a good play by the third baseman Bryant to end the last inning.
You know, it's almost when you approach Rich Hill, if he throws a good curveball, you're not going to hit it. So when he gives you that fastball, you can't miss it. You can't take it. Got to put it in play.
1-2 the count, and a fastball is fouled away. Hill's one of those pitchers, right, Ronnie? You talk about a guy who pitches backwards. Yeah. In his last start of the season against the San Diego Padres, Rich Hill struck out 10 batters. All 10 strikeouts were on fastballs. And the big curve right back to the box. Hill's got it. And a flip over to first for out #1.
You know, sometimes you catch the ball, sometimes the ball catches you. And that's what happened to Rich Hill right there. His glove was just in perfect place. You see the wry smile on his face because he knows he came up lucky here. Bullet right back in the glove, and the underhand toss for the out.
And with the shift on as it was, with an open hole between the bag and the shortstop, that had a chance to roll through for Almora. So Hill retiring 4 in a row now after the lead single, and here is Addison Russell, who takes strike 1. Russell with a couple of doubles. He's driven in 4 this postseason. Battled a foot injury this year, had him on the disabled list for a good chunk of the season. He missed a little over 50 games this year. Javi Baez filled in admirably for Addison Russell in August and September. But Madden was very anxious to get him back in the lineup. And a swing and a miss. Russell strikes out. And Rich Hill has his 3rd punch out of the game already.
Really throwing more fastballs early than we usually see from Rich Hill. Sometimes you come into a ball game and it just feels good coming out of your hand. And I think that's why Hill is using that fastball more as he throws it right by Russell.
37-year-old left-hander from Milton, Mass. Facing Jason Hayward now with 2 away. Hayward anxious to get his LCS started. Had to sit it out last night. Didn't have a chance to pinch hit or come in for defensive purposes last night. He certainly would have had the Cubs taken the lead late. So his first action. Can be a challenge sometimes to sit and watch a game to begin a series. 0-2 the count.
Saw that curveball usage much more earlier in the season, and as Brian pointed out, in his last start against San Diego, he's using more of his fastball, and in this start also. Fastball away by Barnes.
Every now and then Rich Hill will drop down sidearm against lefties. This time over the top, and a fastball hit on the ground to short. Culberson fires to first, and Rich Hill has retired 6 in a row after the leadoff single. Dodgers are coming up. Lester back on the mound. We are scoreless in game 2. Ahead presented by Mitsubishi. And the LCS schedule. This series is headed to Wrigley Field, and they are anxiously awaiting the Cubs and the Dodgers. Game 3 Tuesday. We'll start that one at 9 Eastern. It'll be Kyle Hendricks against Yu Darvish. John Lester, 3 up, 3 down, first inning. Back to work. He'll face Kike Hernandez to start it, who shows bunt. Cody Bellinger with a bunt to end the last inning. Cubs have a bit of a shift on. Had Bryant spread out over towards second base a little bit. Bellinger trying to bunt his way on. Bryant made a very nice play to end the inning. So at least the Dodgers are planting that seed that they'll put the ball on the ground, and it has mostly to do with the throwing problems of John Lester.
They do, but also to move Bryant in, and he's now moving back, gives Hernandez a little more of a hole on the left side.
Hernandez does have a couple of home runs in his career against John Lester. And Hernandez in the cleanup spot for the Dodgers with Corey Seager out. Seager not on the LCS roster for the Dodgers. Normally they're two-hitter. That's elevated everybody up in the order. But what you could say about this Dodger lineup, maybe not the big star power hitter. Justin Turner, certainly one of the great hitters in the game, but that big bat, that big thumping bat that's been around for a long time. But they put at-bats together, one hitter to the next, and they can really string together a big inning. And now Hernandez draws a walk, and the first man to reach against John Lester to start this second inning.
I mean, just a strange at-bat. Your fourth place hitter is turning around to fake a bunt on a 3-1 count. That's something you never see. So what Seager did for their lineup is gave him great depth. You know, that way Hernandez has moved down in the lineup, probably where he belongs. But they all will give you a tough at bat.
Dodgers see a ton of pitches. Logan Forsythe is near the top of that list, pitches per plate appearance, and he takes a strike. Anytime a runner gets on with John Lester on the mound, it becomes a story and an area of emphasis for the opposition. Wilson Contreras, one of the great throwers in the game. John Lester, well chronicled, does not like to throw the ball to first base. That being said, he did it a couple of times in the NLDS and actually picked off a runner at first base.
Yeah, Ryan Zimmerman did it during the regular season, picked off Tommy Pham. The thing about you have to watch is that Anthony Rizzo gets off that first base bag, and the more he gets off, the runner tends to get off more, which means that he's almost double the amount off that base, which makes it easier for Contreras to throw behind him.
This was the pickoff in game 4. Zimmerman with that huge lead, and Rizzo with that quick tag, the left-handed thrower right on the foot. And that's to your point, though. He's so far off the bag. His tag usually comes on the legs, the hips, the knees, and hitters can be held close because of that and because of the arm of Contreras on the back picks. It's always a big story. Lester's fallen behind 3-1.
2 balls hit on the nose in the first inning, and now Lester a little control issues here in the second.
Forsythe had a good night last night. 1 for 2. He was on 3 times. He walked twice. Hernandez with a big lead. Rizzo inches out there with him, and Forsythe fouls it away.
You know, people always ask, why don't they just get off completely? There's no way he's going to throw over there. Well, we showed one that he will throw occasionally, but you're taught since you're a kid that there's a certain kind of lead that you take, and taking more than that almost makes the runner as uncomfortable as Lester is.
Oh, I agree. And sometimes runners out there get very poor starts because of it, because they are in a position where they're almost leaning back. And the arm of Contreras is a big part of this. And certainly last year with David Ross behind the plate, when he was catching Lester mostly, the art of the back pick is a significant story for the Cubs, and that's how they try to manage the running game with John Lester on the mound. And they've done a very good job of that in his time in Chicago. Full count Hernandez still at first. Starts, then stops, and now Forsythe in the left. John Jay is there to make the catch on the line drive. And retreating to first base is Hernandez.
So Lester has faced 5 hitters. 3 hitters have hit the ball right on the nose.
Taylor hit a hot ground ball to second. Turner lined out. And then the line drive out by Forsythe here. Trying to bring up Austin Barnes. Back-to-back starts for Barnes in the first 2 games of this NLCS. Dave Roberts telling us before the game this is now for him a straight platoon, and with so many lefties early in this series, the 2 starting left-handed pitchers for the Cubs. Barnes gets the first 2 starts with Yasmani Grandal on the bench.
Lester shaking his head early on in almost every start. You'll see John Lester really trying to work the umpire, shaking his head, saying that's a strike, and sometimes even veteran umpires will give in to the veteran lefty.
Hey! Count is even at a ball and a strike. Leadoff walk issued by Lester. Hernandez still at first.
Boy, long look by Austin Barnes. 1 out. You could hit and run with the speed of Kike Hernandez, the bat control of Austin Barnes.
Didn't run much, but was successful when he did take off. There is strike 2. 1-2 now on the Dodger catcher. John Lester, now 33 years of age. 19 wins last year, a 2.44 ERA. Finished behind Scherzer in the Cy Young Award voting. And he's backed it up this year. Not the stellar numbers, but good numbers. He was 13-8, a 4.33 earned run average. And Ron, a little bit of shoulder fatigue at the end of the year knocked him out for a couple of weeks. But I think Joe Maddon feels that little breather towards the end of the season has helped Lester and the way he's pitched in this postseason.
And and it should help him increase those beautiful numbers that he has in the postseason. Actively more innings than anyone in the post.
The 1-2. 2-2 now.
When you look at Lester's numbers this year, they're odd because, you know, his earned run average is a couple points higher. He gave up 10 runs in a first inning, 9 runs in a second inning. He had those kind of older pitchers blowout starts.
This is his 3rd start against the Dodgers this year. His first one in April was terrific. Only 1 earned run allowed, 6+ innings. Next time out, late May, gave up 6 earned runs. A swing and a miss, and down he goes. Barnes with that hard cutter in from John Lester. Strikeout victim number 1 for the big lefty.
Yeah, that was the best pitch that Lester has thrown here in the first couple of innings. Gets on the outside of that baseball, and not only did it break in, but broke down on Barnes.
2 outs in the inning for Yasiel Puig, who is having some kind of postseason. He's had 2 RBI games in 3 of the first 4 postseason games for the Dodgers. Hit a home run last night, was 2 for 4. Had a home run and a double. Yasiel Puig hit his first career postseason home run last night. Sam pressed him on the issue, and
I thought he had 2.
He remembered it differently.
Oh.
But in fact, was his first postseason home run. Trying to rewrite his own history a little bit, but he is certainly rewriting his postseason legacy with the way he started this year. It's been impressive.
Well, his StatCast average is 10 bat flips per home run so far in the postseason.
Powered by AWS, by the way. Those are the numbers against lefties. Had a bad year against left-handed pitching, but that has changed in the postseason. All but 2 of his home runs during the regular season coming against right-handed pitchers this year.
You know, it's an interesting cat and mouse game at first base. John Lester, who's trying, does not like to throw over there. But Rizzo not only is coming off the bag, but he's also getting in the runner's lane back to first base. And Hernandez was complaining to the umpire about, look at, there's no place for him to go.
That's a big body to try to get around Anthony Rizzo. Lester deals. Puig takes a called strike. 2-2 the count. Put it right on the edge.
Perfect pitch here from Lester. Nice job by Contreras. Outside of our box, though.
See what he has in mind. 2-2. And the count goes full. See that last called strike? Puig says, I don't know. Gives Tatisha a little wink, and he returns the wink. Guy, every time at the plate, he has been so fun to watch.
Fun to watch or a hot mess? I'm trying to decide what.
You know what? Good point. As long as you're winning, fun to watch.
There you go.
Full count. Hernandez at first takes off. Puig foul. A little bit late. Last night, Puig's home run. You thought he was going to hit it about halfway up the pavilion. Had a little bat flip. Schwarber lost it initially, got back to the wall, and it just scraped the wall for his first career postseason home run. Hit 28 during the regular season. Got Culberson due next. Two outs in the inning. And that one misses outside, ball 4. Second walk issued by Lester. And he'll go to work against Charlie Culberson with 2 on now.
Well, as hot as Puig has been in the postseason, I don't think that's a bad idea to pitch very carefully to Puig with Culberson behind him.
Culberson was the surprise starter at shortstop yesterday. News came down that Corey Seager was going to be left off the NLCS roster with a back injury. He is improving, not to the point where he could possibly return just yet. There'd have to be an injury to get him back on the LCS roster as Contreras fires one to second. Nice play by Baez to keep it in the infield.
Well, Contreras this year, with all the throwing that he has done, has 13 errors. That's the most of any catcher. So it doesn't always work the way he wants it to.
And according to his manager, he's okay with that. Make your throws, keep these runners honest. We'd rather keep them close. If you see a window, take it. And Contreras has obliged. 2 on, 2 out.
Hey!
Joe Maddon knows he needs some length out of John Lester. Getting from the starter to Wade Davis is of utmost concern for Joe Maddon and pitching coach Chris Bosio for this game tonight. They do feel like, because John Lackey was able to give them a couple of innings yesterday, they feel like they are well set now to begin this LCS in game 2 with a rested bullpen. Said he wasn't sure how much he would give Davis tonight. Be interesting to see if he does call on Wade Davis for a multi-inning save this evening. Lester deals. Culberson, little flare into right field, and Hayward is right there to make the catch, and that will retire the side. Lester strands a pair. Cubs are coming up. We head to the 3rd, scoreless. Home runs mean more this postseason as T-Mobile is guaranteeing at least $1 million for hurricane recovery efforts with every home run hit worth $10,000. You can help break the $1 million mark by tweeting hashtag HR4HR, and T-Mobile will donate an additional $1 per tweet. Beautiful setting on a warm Sunday night. Dodger Stadium, Chavez Ravine in Los Angeles. Great to have you with us. Javi Baez starts the inning for the Cubs. No score as we begin the third. Baez, going back to last year's World Series, is on an 0 for 20 slide at the plate. His last hit was a home run against Kluber in the World Series in Game 7. So if that's going to be your last hit to call on, that's a good memory to bring up for Javi Baez.
Well, it's either an incredibly negative stat or he's due at some point.
Madden keeps rolling him out there. They need Baez at the bottom of the order to start to contribute. And as you pointed out in the open here tonight, Ron, the Cubs, they are a team that hits. They get on base, they drive in runs, and outside of Game 5 in the National League Division Series, their offense has been a struggle so far. But you figure they're going to have to hit their way into the World Series this season.
When I think of their lineup, I think of a relentless lineup. But not only do they have to hit, they've got to hit and score early in these games against the Dodgers.
Cubs led the majors in runs per game in the second half of the season. They averaged 5.7 runs per game post All-Star break, and had the best record in the NL post All-Star break. They were 49-25. They roared in the second half. Looked like the Cubs of old. Joe Madden strongly agrees with the World Series hangover that lasted through April and May and June. And when the time came to turn it on, the Cubs certainly did that. Baez able to stay alive on Hill. Count remains at 2-2.
Well, the problem for the Cubs is that they were always playing uphill in the first half. They gave up 80 first inning runs, and that was such an issue for their team. It seemed like every time you looked at the scoreboard, they were behind.
Cubs erased a 5.5 game deficit at the All-Star break, trailing Milwaukee. Back-to-back division titles for Chicago, and back-to-back trips to the NLCS for the Cubs. That one just missed. Mislocation did Hill, didn't get the call. And that's a walk. So Baez draws the walk. Sometimes walks will get a hitter hot, and he is on to start this third inning.
Great patience by Baez. You usually don't use those two words in the same sentence. He's a free swinger. 18 bases on balls to lead off an inning. That's a National League high for Rich Hill.
And a leadoff walk will allow John Lester to try to get a bunt down. It's only the second base runner. John Jay had a single to start this game offensively for the Cubs. He had a base hit to left. And now Lester takes a strike. Remember yesterday, the Dodger pitchers, starting with Kershaw and then on into the bullpen, sat down 18 consecutive Cubs to the finish line yesterday. Bullpen responsible for 12 in a row retired. So until that walk, only one base runner last 25 at bats as Lester fouls it off. That was right at his chest. Joe Madden mouthing to the home plate umpire, let me check to see if that was a foul ball or not, or if that hit him. Yeah, clearly foul.
John had kind of a late reaction. When you're bunting, you always want those fingers to be behind the bat, not exposed as his were there. If that had been more inside, could have hurt his left hand.
Yeah, guess where that was heading to. If it doesn't hit the hand, it's headed right for the left shoulder. The throwing arm of Lester. He squares, he bunts it in the air, foul, and that's going to be a strikeout for Rich Hill. Number 4 for Hill. Lester is out, and one away with Baez still at first. Back to the top of the order now.
I don't know what the percentage is, but I know it's low. After a pitcher has batted a ball that almost hit him in the chest, his chance of getting it down the next pitch, very low.
There's a good name for that particular analytic. The let's get this at bat over with statistic. So to the top of the order, here's John Jay. Had a 2-strike single in the first inning. Interesting setting here at Dodger Stadium. Just listening to the crowd, it was up, live wire, loud most of the game yesterday. Tonight it is subdued a little bit here in game 2. Very quiet. There goes the runner. Baez pitches outside. Barnes' throw is late. Baez got a huge jump and swiped second base.
So the sacrifice didn't work by John Lester, but Baez takes it out on his own. Great jump, looks in, and then the beautiful slide. No chance really for Barnes as that ball is on the other side of the bag. You have to watch with these pop-up slides, because when you do, your foot is off the bag. Yep. You have to stay with that tag if you're an infielder.
That's a good call. If he does that right there and the tag's on him, he's going to be out. John Jay with the runner at second. That gets by, takes a big bounce, and over to third goes Baez on the wild pitch. And now the Cubs have a runner 90 feet away with only 1 out in the inning. A lot of ways to score a run here, as Barnes just couldn't quite get there to block it.
I mean, that ball's 4 or 5 feet outside, and it never came up. Most breaking balls will come up into the catcher and to the right if it's a left-hander throwing it. That ball just stayed down.
Interesting. The infield is in the third inning. It's one of the major differences you'll see from regular season baseball to postseason baseball. Cutting off early runs. Every run matters in the postseason, and Dave Roberts wants to try to cut one off here with 1 out if it's on the ground.
We saw the Cubs do it in the National Series.
3-0 is a strike. There's not a lot of squeeze bunting by position players in Major League Baseball any longer, but if there is a guy to do it, it would be John Jay. He is an excellent bunter. And a swing and a ground ball to first, backhanded nicely by Bellinger. He looks the runner back, takes it to the bag, and it's out number 2. Drawn in infield, pays off for Los Angeles.
Underrated part of Bellinger's game is way off the line. When you make this play, you have to look the runner back. Once you do, then you're fine to go on and get the out.
You spent a lot of nights sitting next to Keith Hernandez.
Yeah.
I wonder how he feels about that backhand right there.
Yeah, well, he would be more about getting in front of the baseball.
Stay in front,
yeah.
Take it off the chest. Bellinger made the play. Smooth, though. And he does get the out. 2 outs. Here's Bryant now. Chris Bryant flies out to right his first time up. He sent one just shy of the wall in right center. And with the sun shining into the eyes of the outfielder at that point, Puig made a nice catch on it. There's a strike. 1-1 to count.
You saw those numbers with 2 out Risp. He's 1 for 8 with runners in scoring position in the postseason, but during the regular season, one of the reasons why his RBIs were only 73 this year.
Baez a runner at third. 2 outs in the inning, and Bryant a swing and a miss. High fastball from Rich Hill, and it goes to 1-2. Cubs are looking for a breakthrough from their offense as Bryant swings and misses. The inning is over. Hill strands a runner at third with just 1 out. A couple of Ks in the inning for the lefty. 2017 National League Championship Series presented by Camping World. Beautiful Dodger Stadium, and we welcome into our broadcast here Game 3 starter Kyle Hendricks. Thanks for your time. It's going to be a pleasure to talk to you as we roll through this inning with Lester on the mound. And Kyle, talk about just first what you're seeing from John Lester in these first few innings.
Yeah, you know, it's classic John. He looks good, locked in so far, just not giving in. You know, had a few base runners there early, but that's who he is. He's not going to give in, especially with the score 0-0 right now. But he's making good pitches, getting ahead of guys.
Kyle, when you're watching these first 2 games, what are you looking for in the Dodger hitters that might help you in Game 3?
Yeah, we got a couple lefties going for us, so it's more just kind of their approach, I guess, how aggressive they're being at bat to at bat, different points in the game, just seeing how they're approaching the flow of the game more so.
Strikeout for Lester on his mound opponent, Rich Hill. You get the call for Game 3. There was some discussion about whether it was going to be Arrieta for Game 3. It was either going to be you or Arrieta 3 or 4. So you're getting the first start at Wrigley Field in this series, and your thoughts and your preparations for that start coming up on Tuesday.
Yeah, I'm excited. It's been a while since I pitched at home, it feels like. So I'm excited to get back there, be in front of the home crowd, and do my thing. But yeah, preparation is as usual. You know, after Game 5. Got into my 5-day routine through my bullpens here and felt good so far. So got to do my game plan between today and tomorrow to get ready for these hitters now.
Kyle, we talk a lot about John Lester, his postseason experience, and how often he has been on the mound in these clutch situations in the playoffs and has performed so well. How much do you attach to him? How much do you link up with what he's experienced? Different side of the mound, I understand, but what can you glean from a guy like John Lester?
Yeah, I've learned so much from John, and like you said, it's more just watching him, watching how he goes about his work, the competitive edge he kind of takes out there with him every time he takes the ball. You can learn so much from watching this guy, and he's been battle tested. He's been through so many things before.
Nice catch out there by Hayward. Thanks for the layout there.
There you go.
That was well done. That's pro.
Of course. See, you know, I've been done this 1 or 2 times.
See how that works, Ronnie?
Yeah, it does. Exactly.
Yeah, but no, I've learned so much from him. Everybody else on this staff, we have such a deep staff, guys with so much experience. I've been very, very fortunate, very lucky to just pick these guys' brains for a couple of years here.
Kyle, every time I watch you pitch, you seem to have a great game, but none better than the 7 innings you threw in Washington. That was one of the best starts ever.
Yeah, thank you, Ron. Yeah, I felt good for that one. Obviously, being Game 1, just trying to keep my emotions under control. But we played so many big games down the stretch, it felt like in September, that our team was kind of ready for that atmosphere, and everybody kind of took it in stride. So we scored some big runs there, laid off Strasburg, and were able to get that W.
Well, with 2 outs, we're going to let you go here. Your dugout looks calm. You guys look calm as a group, and off to a good start here in Game 2. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, I appreciate it, guys, always.
All right, that is Kyle Hendricks. He'll be the Game 3 starter. Always enjoy a visit with him. He's a great thinker, just like you, Ron, Ivy Leaguer.
You know what? Pitching is an art, and he has taken it to an art form the last 2 seasons.
Nice catch by Hayward to take a hit away from Taylor. Justin Turner is up there with 2 away. Turner now 1 for 21 in his career against Lester. Have that line drive out to center field his first time up. He hit one, looked like it was over the head of Almora. Almora reached up on the track and made the catch. That'll be Yu Darvish for Game 3 Tuesday at Wrigley against Kyle Hendricks. What a matchup. Darvish was terrific in his 5 innings of Game 3 of the NLDS. And Turner draws the walk. So Lester trying to make it a quick inning. Retired the first 2 hitters. Now a 2-out walk. Issues his 3rd walk of the game. And that'll bring up Cody Bellinger.
And notice Lester there, like pushing on his clavicle, like his neck is a little tight.
Yeah, you're right. Good eye.
Right.
Just wonder if the tension of that bunt attempt that was up and in might have been the reason why. We'll keep an eye on that. Something's grabbing him, though. You can see it. And a first pitch strike for Bellinger.
Remember, each postseason is different. Pitched in 2 games in the NLDS against the Nationals, 1 a start and 1 in relief.
3 2/3 innings of work on that rainy Wednesday afternoon at Wrigley. One of the more impressive performances for John Lester, giving up just the one hit. Madden was trying to push him for another inning, but coming out of the bullpen delivering that kind of performance. The most reliable pitcher throughout his career in the postseason. 2 balls and a strike on Bellinger.
There's the bunch you were talking about as he pulls back, and that back kind of banged up against his tricep and shoulder, and then he fell down.
You try to brace for the landing. Try not to hit your head on the ground falling back. Could be a lot of areas of concern for Lester as he pushes through. Bellinger in the air, left center. That's got a slice on it, and that's going to get down. Turner is on the move. It's cut off by Almora, and they'll hold Turner at third base. He rounded it big time at third and had to scamper back. Almost lost his footing. A late stop sign put up by Chris Woodward. It's a double for Bellinger. 2 on for the Dodgers.
Well, the hardest part about this play, as Bellinger goes down and splits the gap, is that Woodward, the third base coach, has to see if Almora Jr. is going to cut that off, and he did. And you have to remember, as a third base coach, that slide there to get back to the bag by Turner, that both Russell and Baez have tremendous arms, but the center fielder Almora Jr. overthrew the cutoff man, and he would have been safe.
Dodgers threatening again. They stranded 2 in the second. 2 on here with 2 outs in the third. Here is Kike Hernandez. Strike 1 from Lester.
Every pitcher worth their weight. These are the situations you got to get through. 2 outs, 2 runners in scoring position. These are backbreakers if you give up a hit here.
And back-to-back innings with these high-stress pitches with runners on for LA. Turner and Bellinger the base runners, and Lester missing inside on Hernandez. Two quick outs. Taylor hit the ball hard, but right at Jason Hayward for the second out, then a walk, and now a double. Woo! 1-2 the count.
Got that pitch called up in the strike zone, down the middle but up. Hernandez didn't think it was a strike.
Contreras stuck the landing on that pitch to make sure he got that strike.
You'd have to think that cutter in that he used against Barnes for a strikeout would be a pitch he'd go back to here.
Contreras, the catcher, asking for timeout. Hernandez walked his last time up. That was a leadoff walk in the second. A couple of homers in his career against Lester. See what Lester goes to, and step off and do it again. Contreras is on his way out.
I think with the confusion and the call for a timeout by Contreras, I think Lester just wants to call his young catcher out and say, this is exactly what the kind of pitch I want to throw. You called the fastball in, but I struck out Barnes on a cutter in. That's what's coming.
Anytime you get a runner at second base, you get a little more antsy about sign stealing from the runner at second. So Lester and Contreras come together to make sure. A ball and 2 strikes. Big pitch coming for Lester early in this one. 2-2.
So they decided to change the pitch. They went to change up away, maybe to set up now the cutter in.
Pump of the fist by Contreras. 2-2 pitch in the dirt. And Hernandez draws the walk. His second walk of the inning issued by Lester. It's 2-2. It's just 3-2. All right. I had it 2-2, and then I didn't trust the count. Hernandez. I don't blame him. Trying to work that walk. I thought I got off on my pitch counting. Oh, to have a 3-ball walk.
Well, I think that Lester has thought about this entire pitch to get the 3-2. He tantalized him out with 2 changeups. You'd think he'd pop one inside here. Got him.
Both runners will be off with the crack of the bat with 2 outs. Speed at second. Hernandez lifts it in the air. Rizzo on the run. Baez on the run. Hayward's coming in, waving everybody off, and he's got it for the out. And the inning is over. John Lester comes up big again. Strands 2 more Dodgers, and we're still scoreless. Good start here in Game 2 of the National League Championship Series. We are scoreless as we head to the 4th. Rich Hill will match up against Anthony Rizzo to start this 4th inning. And Rizzo swinging a foul on the first pitch. We put a headset on Clayton Kershaw. He's in the Dodger dugout. Thank you, Clayton, for joining us in the middle of this very important game. Just tell me, how does this game feel for you the day after you make a start in this very important LCS series?
Yeah, we know it's a big game for us. We want to try and defend home field advantage, obviously, and we play really good at home. So getting out of here with a 2-0 lead would be awesome for us.
Hey, Clayton, explain to our fans out there that didn't spend their summer in LA how special it was for the Dodgers.
It was special. Yeah, you're right. I mean, I think anytime you win 100 and whatever games that we did, a lot of things had to go right, and that stuff doesn't matter right now. But yeah, when we were in the middle of it, it was pretty special.
Saw a great moment. At the end of the National League Division Series, you guys win in 3. You sweep the Diamondbacks. And Dave Roberts had some moments in the clubhouse. He spoke first as Hill strikes out Rizzo to start this 4th inning. But Clayton, as soon as Dave Roberts, the manager, was done with his comments, he turned the floor over to you. What do you remember about that? And was that a moment for you? And what were you trying to express there as you guys knew you were moving on?
Yeah, Doc does a good job with that, just letting guys that you know, he thinks is a good time for them to speak to the team. And you know, giving me 10 seconds notice was great, so I didn't have to think about it. And I just wanted to recognize guys that hadn't done a lot. That hadn't really done, they were a little bit out of their comfort zones in that series. So, you know, with Kenta Maeda, what he was able to do in that series, and then just everybody just trying to recognize guys that were out of their comfort zones. That's what I just tried to do.
How much fun is it when you and Rich Hill sit on the bench and talk about curveballs? Yeah, well, Rich's curveball is a little different. I mean, you know, I don't know all the spin rate stuff, but when you play catch with him, it does feel like it's spinning about 180 miles an hour. So it is pretty fun to watch for sure. This is a good inning right here.
Well, he's got the first 2 men out. Last question for you, Clayton, before we let you go. For all of us watching Major League Baseball, it is very unusual to see a pitcher of your caliber to come out of the game after 5 innings. You always want to stay in as long as you can, but the way your bullpen is pitching, what is your perspective of the way it went yesterday and how it's going for the Dodgers in the postseason?
Yeah, you know, every situation's going to, you know, there's a lot of different situations that are kind of come up. And so yesterday, you know, after 5 innings, my spot came up in the order, and we had a chance to tack on a few extra runs. And then I think with the luxury that we have with our bullpen, it was, you know, obviously you want to stay in the game right there, but understanding where we're at and how we're trying to score some runs. And my at bat against Quintana wasn't the greatest, my first at bat, so I'd probably get Farmer up there, see what he could do.
Well, Clayton, thank you very much for doing this in the middle of this game. We appreciate hearing your insights, bud.
All right, thanks, guys.
Thanks.
That is Clayton Kershaw, and he went 5 innings yesterday. And it's not that the numbers don't work out, right? We were having this discussion yesterday, but it is a bit of a shock to the system the way baseball is played this day, especially in the postseason when a guy like Kershaw in a tie game is out of the game after 5 innings.
If you got a hot bullpen, you got to go to it. I always go back to 2011 when the St. Louis Cardinals could not get really a lot of length from their starters. La Russa went to his bullpen early and often, resulted in a championship.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Hill has retired the first 2. He's got Almora in the hole and a swing and a miss. And Rich Hill, a 3-up, 3-down inning with 2 strikeouts. Still scoreless at Dodger Stadium. It is time for Records and Milestones presented by Jim Beam. Drink smart. For more records and milestones presented by Jim Beam, go to BleacherReport.com, and we're looking at left-handed pitchers postseason starts. John Lester climbing the list his next start, and he is certainly hoping for another one. Barring injury, will get a chance, and he'll tie Whitey Ford.
Just passed Whitey Ford last inning in innings pitched in the postseason. He's 6th now all time.
Logan Forsythe will lead off for Los Angeles. Lester has racked up a ton of pitches here in the last 2 innings. The second inning, where he stranded 2 with 2 walks, 28 pitches. And then last inning, a 20-pitch inning, giving up a walk and a double, stranding 2 more.
The problem is while we had Kyle Hendricks on, he had 2 outs right in a row, but then couldn't get out of the inning, so that cost him the extra pitches.
I thought maybe Hendricks might go over and put the headset back on. Are players still superstitious?
Of course, of course. Or as Joe Madden says, little stitious at least.
Forsythe down the left field line. That is going to hook foul. Speaking of little stitious or superstitious, Joe Madden, you'll be glad to know Cubs fans, was sporting that Joe Namath jersey once again. In our pregame meeting, he's been wearing that jersey for a while. He feels like there's a little good luck in that Joe Namath jersey, and he actually washed it.
That's an issue. If you're real superstitious, you can't watch the jersey.
Forsythe in the air, center field, and Almora will settle under it for the out. Lester retires the first batter faced here in the 4th. The rematch in this NLCS, back-to-back years for the Cubs and the Dodgers. Cubs back in the National League Championship Series for the 3rd straight year. They broke through as the wild card team and then took down the St. Louis Cardinals 2015. And then back as division champs last year. Best record at the home field advantage in the postseason last season. Hosted the Dodgers in the first 2 games. Dodgers have flipped the script this season. Austin Barnes with 1 away. Strikeout victim in the 2nd. 0 for 2 with a couple of walks yesterday for the Dodger catcher. Lester has walked 3. And he hits the strike zone to go 3-1 on Barnes. In the air, slicing, heading into foul territory. Rizzo is over Baez, and he makes the catch. That is in fair territory. And Baez, what a beautiful catch that was. Almost overran the baseball. But again, the twilight time of night, it's tough to see the baseball up into that twilight sky. This would have been a fair ball.
Just caught it right in the palm of his glove. The thing about Baez is that's underrated. We talk about his skills catching the ball on the ground. He can go long distances to catch the ball in the air, and just barely makes that play.
It was almost a collision between Lance Barksdale, the right field umpire, and Baez. Barksdale was trying to steer clear of Rizzo and almost ran into Baez. Barksdale had the plate last night. 2 outs in the inning. 2 up, 2 down for Yasiel Puig. Talking to Dave Roberts before the game tonight, asking him about Puig, and my question was, how close was Puig to not being on the postseason roster last season? He had spent some time in AAA Oklahoma City. Roberts was not happy with the way Puig was performing on and off the field. but he put him on the roster. Said he made that decision about 2 weeks remaining in the regular season. Put him on the roster because felt like he needed a right-handed bat against lefties. But then this season, Puig has struggled against left-handed pitchers for whatever reason. He's turned that around in the postseason, as we pointed out. But how times have changed for Yasiel Puig, who went from one of the last roster spots on a postseason roster last year to a postseason star in the first 4 games this season.
And really only had one incident this year. He was late to an early hitting session, but that's it. He was on point most of the year. There's the hitting coach, Turner Ward.
2-2 the count. Over the shoe tops of Puig. It goes to 3-2. Licks the bat. The bat flips, licks the bat, shuffles the knees. His own curtain calls. He's had it all. Payoff pitch coming. Count stays at 3-2. Culberson due next. Lester would rather he lead off in the 5th inning. Lester has had one 3-up 3-down inning. That was in the first. Got a chance to do it here in the 4th. 3-2 the count on Puig. And it's up and away. Ball 4. Another walk for Lester. This feels a lot like the way the 2nd inning unfolded, with a 2-out walk to Puig to get Culberson to the plate.
Yeah, it's not a pitch around. He's not trying to walk Puig to get to Culberson. He's just being extra careful. He saw what happened in last night's ball game.
Now for John Lester, the 4 walks ties his postseason high, and we're only in the 4th inning. Culberson flew out to right, a little flare into the glove of Hayward. His last time up, that into the inning, stranded 2. Lester has stranded 4 thus far. Culberson, prior to yesterday, had made one postseason start in his career. That was at second base last year in the NLDS. Didn't have a hit in that first round series. Back-to-back starts at shortstop for the injured Seager. Had a memorable day yesterday, did Culberson. Sacrifice fly and an RBI that tied the game at 2. And he had another base hit. Might be a running opportunity for Puig, who stole 15 during the regular season. Culberson takes a ball. 2-1.
When Lester's locked in, you see a lot more strikes than you're getting from him this evening. It's almost like he's trying to get in the zone. Hasn't figured it out yet.
75 pitches for Lester, and we play in the 4th inning. Lester deals, and a swing and a miss. 2-2 the count now. Culberson spent most of the year in Oklahoma City, AAA affiliate of the Dodgers. Just shy of 100 games at the shortstop position in AAA. Was a September call-up, made his first start. September 4th started a game at short for the Dodgers. His only start at shortstop this year until the postseason. Puig takes off, throw to second base. The tag, he is out. Baez with that quick tag. And Puig is out at second to end the inning. Well, he's one of the best throwing catchers in the game. Contreras cuts down another one. Sunday night, Dodger Stadium. Puig trying to steal a base, and the catch and the great tagging ability of Baez.
Well, we've talked about it before. He lets the ball travel, and he slaps the tag quicker than anyone in the game. That one right on the top of the dome of Puig.
Something special these Cubs have with Baez and Contreras as Russell fouls off the first pitch to get us started here in the 5th inning. Rich Hill back to work. I cannot ever remember a player with the ability to tag like Javi Baez.
Well, you know, they call him the magician, but I've heard him explain it before that he does a lot of things left-handed. So he feels like his left hand is as adroit as his throwing hand. And maybe that's the reason why he's so quick.
And then you combine that with the throwing arm of Contreras. And when you talk about pop time, meaning pop of the mitt to the pop of the infielder who takes the throw, it is one of the best times recorded in the major leagues. Contreras can really throw it. And Puig had a very good jump there to try to steal that base to get into scoring position. Might have bought Lester a few pitches. And it puts Culberson back in the leadoff spot for the bottom of the 5th inning. Russell, Hayward, and Baez coming up here in the top of the 5th. Cubs have 1 hit in their last 32 plate appearances. And that one's hit well down the left field line. Is there enough? It is up and it is gone. Addison Russell with a home run puts the Cubs on the board first.
Postseason suits Mr. Russell just fine. 9 RBIs in the World Series last year and a big hit. Now 2 for 33 in their last 33 plate appearances. Big home run by Russell.
4th career home run in the postseason for Addison Russell. 18 ribbies in his last 17 games in the postseason. And he puts the Cubs on the board. First blemish for Rich Hill. It had so much topspin on it. Only question was, did it have enough to get over that 4-foot wall down the left field line? And it did. And the Cubs strike first once again.
He hit it so hard, didn't have time to hook foul.
Hayward rolls over one to first. Bellinger is there. A race to the bag. A dive at the bag. Out at first. Hayward immediately asked his bench to take a look at this.
Well, the reason Bellinger had to get to the bag is that Hill didn't cover. Once he realized that, both the runner and fielder slide into the bag. Who got there first? Bellinger.
Oh. Well, what great camera work that is. And easy to see that Bellinger, very fast in his own right, clips Jason Hayward by a couple of fingernails, I think. So an out for Hill following the home run by Russell. Put out a go 3 unassisted. That brings up Baez now.
Hey!
Baez walked his last time up. Only 3 base runners for the Cubs as Baez takes a big swing and fouls it away. It's 0-2. Got a walk, a steal, and a wild pitch. Dave Roberts has his bullpen active after Russell's home run. Russell with his 3rd homer against the Dodgers. He had 2 last year in the NLCS. Josh Fields is loosening in the Dodger bullpen. Rich Hill in his division series start against Arizona went 4 innings. Did not come back out for the 5th. Count remains at a ball and 2 strikes.
Starting pitching in the offseason has become, you can pitch until you make a mistake. As soon as you make a mistake, the bullpen's going to get ready.
I'll give you 1 batter, 1 base runner, and that's it, right? Almost feels like you're watching a no-hitter or a shutout. You get late in the game back in the day, as soon as that hit was allowed or the shutout was over, you immediately make a change. But that's the way it works in the postseason, especially when you have a bullpen like Dave Roberts has. Hill has been excellent thus far. 7 strikeouts already. That matches a career high for him in postseason starts. 2-2 the count. And a swing and a miss. There is number 8 for Rich Hill. Second out of the inning, and the pitcher Lester coming up. Gives us a chance to look at StatCast, powered by Amazon Web Services. This catch first by Baez, covering some kind of ground, about as perfect as you can play it, and then this tag pop time of 1.85 from the catcher's mitt to Baez's glove. That's impressive. I was talking to a couple of scouts preparing for these games, and a couple of these guys said they've had Wilson Contreras as fast as 1.75
for pop time
down to second base, which is historically good. I mean, you're talking about the Benito Santiagos, Pudge Rodriguez's of the world, some of the great throwers that have ever put the equipment on.
You know, it's not only the arm, though. It's the ability to move your feet. And that's what separates Contreras from other catchers in the league. It's pop time, not only with his arm, but the ability to move his feet quickly and get that ball off, and accurate.
Lester up there with 2 outs. And he takes a strike. 2-2 now. Hill with 8 strikeouts. Looking for number 9, and Lester in the air to left field. That is down, a base hit. John Lester with a single to extend this inning. Lester went so long in his career without recording a hit. 0 for his first 66 at-bats without a hit, but he's taken it seriously since he's come to Chicago. Hit a home run this year to the opposite field, his first career home run.
Off the lefty of all people, Patrick Corbin. He's made himself into a threat at the plate.
Now he turns the lineup over, and Jay on the first pitch bounces out. The Chicago Cubs, just like they did last night, strike first with a long ball, and it's Addison Russell, first homer of this postseason, number 4 of his postseason career, and the Cubbies are on top. Bleacher Report connects you to the teams, players, and moments that matter in sports culture. Download the free Bleacher Report app and stay dialed in to the MLB playoffs. Sunday night, Dodger Stadium, Game 2 of the National League Championship Series. Now the Cubs have the lead on an Addison Russell solo homer. Culberson back at the plate, was up there after Puig was caught stealing, and Rich Hill is upset in that Dodger dugout. That'll be his last inning, giving up the home run to Russell. Pitched well though, but Lester has been able to match him, and Lester has been able to strand some runners on. He has left 4 Dodgers on base.
No starting pitcher wants to leave a game losing. They want to stay out there.
Rich Hill spot due up second. Curtis Granderson has already moved on deck as Culberson down the right field line, slicing foul. Interesting number about the Dodgers tonight, knowing that they want to get into the Chicago bullpen. Ron, how would you use this stat as a starting pitcher? The Dodgers have taken 54 of 80 pitches thrown in this game.
I would love as a pitcher to know that stat. If I were John Lester, I'd say, hey, I need to be a little more aggressive. They're trying to drive up the pitch count, which they have. Lester's trying to pitch around the periphery of the strike zone, and the Dodgers are not biting.
So 55 of 81 now they have taken. That is a very high number. And Lester's pitch count soaring to 81 here as he pitches in the 5th inning. Culberson in a 2-2 count. In the air, left center, a base hit for Charlie Culberson's going to split the gap. That goes to the track, and Culberson is into second base with a double. Seizing the opportunity, Charlie Culberson with his second hit of this LCS.
Base hit, RBI on a sac fly yesterday, scored a run, and now with a double to lead off the 5th inning. Amazing, this game, right? You lose one of the key players on your team. You don't even know who to put on the roster. You decide on Culberson, and he's been a big part of these first 2 games.
Most of the talk yesterday prior to the game was that Dave Roberts had options in Kike Hernandez and Chris Taylor to start at shortstop. He went with Culberson, and it has paid off. Now Granderson pinch hitting. Curtis Granderson in for Hill, and the mood is quickly changing for Rich Hill. He wants to see his offense get him back in the lead. Granderson off the bench, picked up in August by the Dodgers from the Mets. He has very good numbers against Lester throughout his career. .296 average, including 3 home runs. Curtis Granderson.
Most of those at bats coming in that Red Sox-Yankee rivalry.
54 career at bats against John Lester. Initial thought was, well, maybe recently the numbers aren't so good against Lester, why he wasn't in the starting lineup tonight. But Anderson is 3 for his last 7 against John Lester, including a home run. Gets his chance against the big lefty here with a runner at second base, the tying run. 2-1. Granderson down the line, foul. Just missed the right field line.
I think sometimes when you talk about ball clubs, just a little quick by Granderson here, and you talk about payroll, you're really talking about depth, not only the people on the field, but to have the ability to bring a Curtis Granderson off the bench is pretty special.
They got bats on the bench that include Granderson, Chase Utley, Andre Ethier. These are all players who have had moments in the postseason, big names in the game, and that's part of the bench core for Dave Roberts. 2-2 the count. Dodgers get a leadoff double from Culberson. Lester deals, and a pop-up, foul territory. It's slicing. Bryant is over with room and makes the catch. Culberson's going to hold at second. Smart move, both Lester and Baez covering the bag at third. Otherwise, Culberson was going to be on the move.
Center fielder, Rich Taylor.
Well, nice play over the shoulder catch by Bryant right before he gets to the padding there down the third base side. Excellent play, and it sticks in the glove.
Little snow cone. Those taste sweet this time of year.
What was great about Lester, he added just enough fastball against Granderson so he wasn't able to pull it.
Working hard in the fifth inning here. A lot of pitches for Lester. Next one will be number 88. Back to the top of the order, Chris Taylor. Taylor lined out his last time up, hit it sharply to right. And he pulls that one foul. Got ahead of it. He was on it. First two games of the division series, the Dodgers in their home ballpark went 10 for 30 with runners in scoring position. It's where they dominated the Diamondbacks. Cubs get a lead on a Russell homer. Dodgers threatening right away. Lester misses. 1 ball, 1 strike. Brandon Morrow, typically the setup man for the Dodgers, but available to come into any situation, is preparing for the 6th. Bryant, Rizzo, and Contreras are coming up. Dave Roberts wants one of his best for the best part of the Cubs order.
You know, because of Lester's issues throwing the baseball, you can almost get as much of a lead at second base as you want. Espazio going to the phone.
Well, Joe Madden, when we started this game, was hoping for 6 innings from Lester because of the trouble the Cubs have had from the starter to Wade Davis. And you got to think that plan has changed right now. He's probably just hoping for 5 innings out of John Lester, but this will be a key hitter to determine that. Sensing the same thing you just mentioned. Lester feeling like Culberson getting a little extra lead. Carl Edwards Jr. begins to throw in the Cubs bullpen. Lester with a long look and a long pause. And Taylor takes one inside and low, and it's 2-1 now. Figured Lester, because Edwards just started throwing, he's got Taylor and probably Turner, unless this is an extended at bat. It's going to take a bit to get Edwards ready. Tying run at second base, 1 man out, and that one's on the ground right off the end of the bat. Russell's going to go to first. Out number 2. Culberson to third base. Lester an out away from getting out of this 5th inning. 2 outs gives us a chance to check in with Casey Stern in our Atlanta studio. All right, Casey, thanks. Back at it tomorrow in the AL. Game 2 tonight here in the National League Championship Series. Dodgers have their best hitter at the plate with a runner at third and 2 outs.
See Justin Turner's numbers in the postseason. Be interesting how Lester goes after Turner here with Bellinger up next. I think he's going to go right after Turner because of Bellinger double in his last at bat.
As great as Turner has been in this postseason and throughout his postseason career, just the 1 hit against John Lester. He lined out in the first, he walked in the third. Turner able to lay off as Lester flirts with the edges. He's behind 2-0.
Ball's just down. Nice try by Contreras to pull it up in the strike zone. Good call by Titchener, the home plate umpire.
In there, strike one. 2 balls and a strike on Justin Turner. Turner had an RBI yesterday. He drove in the run on the play at the plate with Culberson scoring. That created a lot of discourse in last night's game. The 5th run of the game for the Dodgers. 2-1. Turner lets it fly and he fouls it back. Had a big swing. 2-2 now.
John Lester always has had the ability to reach back for a little extra at times on his fastball, and he threw that one, even though he was behind in the count, threw that one by Turner.
Rich Hill pinch hit for by Granderson in this inning. He's done after 5, giving up 1 run. A career high 8 strikeouts in the postseason for him. But the Cubs have the lead on Russell's leadoff homer in the top of this inning. Two and 2 to Justin Turner. On the ground, that is through, a base hit. In to score is Culberson, and this game is tied. Justin Turner delivers again. His 7th RBI in the 5th game of this postseason.
Well, Turner's great in RBI situations, taking what you give him. Lester tried to go away with a fastball, left it up just enough for Turner to hit it in that hole. Rizzo was trying to get over there as far as he could to close up that hole, but he couldn't. Bill's off the hook.
1-1 score. And now Turner at first for Bellinger. Turner just continues to impress. 5 for 7 with runners in scoring position. That almost gets by Contreras. Maybe a more impressive number on Justin Turner is how good he has been with 2 strikes in this postseason.
6 for 13. I think sometimes we underestimate not only the physical talent of Turner, but the intelligence as a hitter.
He's the go-ahead run at first. Bellinger with the big power, and he swings and fouls it away. He was late on the fastball from Lester. Culberson started it with a double, scored the tying run, and now Bellinger fouls it away again. Fastball's on, and that's one of the better fastballs of the night for Lester at 93 miles an hour. He is reaching back for everything he's got to get out of this 5th inning, which you would imagine would be his last. A ball and 2 strikes on Bellinger. Wouldn't bite on the breaking ball. 2-2. Dodgers continue to get the deep counts, working the counts, taking pitches.
It's exactly what Dave Roberts told us they would do before the game.
2-2 with 2 away with Turner at first. Lester deals, and that just missed. Full count now. It's going to get Turner a head start at first. Rizzo will back up, play behind him. Kike Hernandez would be next. Turner goes. 3-2 pitch, foul back. Big hack by Bellinger.
bat speed that Bellinger generates is the reason he hit 39 home runs this summer.
He'll be the Rookie of the Year in the National League. It'll give the Dodgers back-to-back Rookies of the Year with Seager and Bellinger. Do it again, another payoff. Turner takes off, and it is low for a ball. Bellinger reaches on the walk. 2 on with 2 away, and decision time here for Joe Madden.
Did you see Joe? He looked at his pitching coach, Chris Bosio. He gave the nod. He's done.
And the skipper is on his way out with Edwards ready in the bullpen. Madden has not made the call just yet. And now he does and takes the ball. Lester's out. Started the inning with a 1-0 lead. The Dodgers answer. Get an RBI from Turner. And here comes Carl Edwards Jr. 2 outs in the 5th. Pitching change at Dodger Stadium. Championship Series presented by Camping World. Scene is hot here in Los Angeles. The Dodgers have scored to tie it. Charlie Culberson, a leadoff double to start the inning, driven home with a 2-out, 2-strike single by Justin Turner. And Lester is out after a walk to Bellinger. It's going to be Carl Edwards Jr. and he is going to match up against Chase Utley.
You know, the last time that Edwards Jr. left the mound, he looked lost. But Joe Madden told us bluntly, said he had an amazing year this year. We're only going to go as far as Edwards Jr. pitches us. They need him to be successful.
This becomes a major piece to the puzzle for the Cubs to see what Edwards can bring in this LCS. They need him back. He had operated in a setup role very well for the Cubs all season. 2 on, 2 out, Utley off the bench. First pitch strike. Lester 4 2/3. Giving up the 1 run, still 2 runners on that are his responsibility. Strike to Utley. Chase looking for his first hit in his last 17 postseason games. He got a start in Game 3 of the division series against Arizona. One ball, 1 strike. Turner at second, Bellinger at first, and Utley takes a strike. 97-mile-an-hour fastball from Edwards.
When we saw him struggle against the Nationals, he was trying to cut that fastball and couldn't throw it for strikes. Today it seems like he straightened it out a little bit, more of a 4-seam fastball.
1-2 the count. Edwards fires, and a swing and a miss. He struck him out. Carl Edwards Jr. with a punch out to end the inning, and the Dodgers strand 2, but they score 1, and we're all tied.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Office of the Commissioner of Baseball and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without express written consent.
What a game we are having here. Game 2 of this National League Championship Series from the home of the Dodgers, Dodger Stadium. This series will move to Wrigley Field, Chicago for Game 3 on Tuesday. 1-1 ball game, 6th inning. Brandon Morrow is in. He'll face Chris Bryant to start it, and strike 1 on a 97-mile-an-hour fastball.
Well, we said earlier in the game that the Cubs needed to score a lot and score early. They have not been able to do that, and now it's a battle of the bullpens.
Total board is identical right now. 1 run, 3 hits, no errors. Cubs getting the home run from Russell in the 5th to lead off, and then the Dodgers come right back, score the tying run. Terrific work by Carl Edwards to strike out Chase Utley to strand 2. Dodgers have left 6. 0-2 the count on Bryant. In the air to right center field. Easing over is Puig, and he's got it for the out. Bryant is 0 for 3, 1 gone for Morrow. Let's take a look at our superhero of the game, brought to you by Justice League. It's in theaters on November 17th, and this Los Angeles Dodger bullpen, and specifically those 3, Maeda, Morrow, and Jansen, closing it out. Curtis Granderson stays in the game to play left field after his pinch hit appearance. Dave Roberts lines up his relievers other than Jansen, as Morrow misses upstairs on Rizzo. Lines them up based on where they are in the lineup, not necessarily what inning they are in. Not the traditional roles. Roberts moving away from that last year. Said it really just didn't work for us last year. Rizzo into center field. And Taylor pulls it in for out number 2. 2 up, 2 down for Brandon Morrow.
So I think the traditional role that you and I have seen in the past of guys pitching the 7th, 8th, or 9th inning have been changed a little bit in today's analytical baseball world. They want to have there's certain pitchers face certain hitters in the lineup.
Now, Kenley Jansen, you know, has the 9th inning or the final outs, whether that be the final 3 or 4, 5, sometimes 6 outs. He gives you that luxury where he can go 2. There's a swing and a miss from Contreras. So if you start working backwards in your Dave Roberts, you're in the 6th inning. You need 12 outs to get to the finish line in a regulation game if you take a lead. And he is not afraid to bring in Morrow here in the 6th. Still have Maeda available. It's Contreras with a big hack.
Also, I think as a manager, you have to use the off days as a buffer and think about those days so you can go a little longer with your relievers, knowing that tomorrow's off.
Oh, and 2 to Contreras. And a swing and a miss. An 8-pitch inning for Brandon Morrow with a strikeout. Dodgers get the side in order, now coming up at the bottom of the 6th. Carl Edwards back on the mound for the Cubs, and here we go to the bottom of the 6th inning. Logan Forsythe will lead off. First pitch curveball from Edwards. That's the pitch he struck out Chase Utley on to end the 5th inning. Stranding 2. Cubs are hopeful that Edwards can get it back, and an impressive first batter face for him. Joe Madden pushing the chips to the middle. He knows he can't get to the World Series, win a World Series without a guy like Edwards. He's relied on him all year. Starts a clean inning this time around, and I'm with you, Ron, on the look on his face when he exited that game. He pitched in every game in the division series. He had that look as if to say, I don't know where I'm at right now. This is a career question look right now. Can I get it back? And he's been able to come back, get out of a big situation in the 5th.
He just looked like he didn't know how to throw strikes. Just the opposite tonight.
Yeah, he's bringing it. Looks like his old self right now. Doesn't it change things? I can imagine Chris Bosio over there in the Cubs dugout. A little bit of relief, I would imagine, even though it's early in this outing for Edwards, but he looks normal. He's got the good fastball going. 1-2 pitch. Curveball is a dandy, but it misses, and Forsythe able to lay off.
Edwards Jr. only had to get an out in that 5th inning, but he's gone more than an inning in relief 7 times this year. They need some length tonight.
Twice he's gone 2 innings. And with Lester going 4 2/3, Cubs are trying to build that bridge to Wade Davis. Madden said he was not sure he could ask Davis to go more than an inning tonight. There's a swing and a miss. The curveball again. And Forsythe is down on strikes. Back-to-back strikeouts for Edwards in his first 2 batters faced.
When it's going good for Edwards Jr., he has a great spin rate on that curveball, straight down from top to bottom. Fools Forsythe.
Tough guy to strike out. Edwards with the swing and miss stuff gets just that on Forsythe. Austin Barnes now buckled his knees in there for a strike. And talking about all these curveballs with Kershaw and Rich Hill and Carl Edwards. Sporting a dandy so far. One of the great pickups for the Cubs as they built their roster, got their franchise to this level starting 2 years ago in 15. Edwards becoming a bigger part of that. He was originally with the Texas Rangers organization. He came to the Cubs in a July deal, a trade deadline deal 4 years ago, 2013, for Matt Garza. Traded Garza to Texas. Edwards coming over with Justin Grimm and Mike Olt, and he has turned out to be the prize in that group. No balls, 2 strikes. Barnes, little lazy fly ball to right. Hayward went back, now coming in. 2 men are gone. 3 in a row retired for Edwards. Take a look at tonight's playmakers, Ronnie, presented by Alfa Romeo. How about Yasiel Puig? Last 8 postseason games, the numbers that he has put up, and I think the pitches per plate appearance almost doubling from the regular season would indicate this kind of success. He's locked in right now.
Well, you just always thought that at some point he was going to be one of the stars in the league, and he went through a period of time where literally you didn't know if he was going to be a viable major league player. He certainly turned that around this year.
Puig still only 26 years of age. He'll turn 27 in December. Native of Cuba, signed a 7-year contract with the Dodgers. He's in the middle of that deal now. That's a deal that would end after next season, but still 2 more years after that. He could remain a Dodger, what they call arbitration eligible, meaning he is under their control. Very close to being traded last season was Puig. 2-0. A scissor kick. I don't think he had his mind that he was going to swing on that pitch.
I think Puig is starting to realize that there's the scissor kick that he is not being pitched to in this game, and showing his frustration.
3 balls, no strikes. 2 men are out. And Puig taking all the way, takes a strike.
I mean, nothing worse in this game than great talent unfulfilled, and that's where Puig was going until the numbers he put up this year.
3-1. Swings and fouls it away, and Edwards put it right where Contreras wanted it. Full count now to Puig. Well, Edwards has command on the fastball. Big velocity. He's dropped some great curveballs in. He's got some options here. Let's see what he does. 2 outs, bottom of the 6th. Tie game. And Puig fights it all foul. Just got a piece. Payoff pitch. Puig, big swing, had a good cut. Fouls it away.
With each fastball, it seems like Puig's getting closer to getting on top of it.
Now it's interesting, that fastball at 94. He's been riding at 97. Wants a curveball. 3-2 pitch, and the curveball is swung on and missed. Edwards comes back from 3-0 down, and a 3-up, 3-down inning, striking out Puig. 2 strikeouts in the 6th inning. The great Jackie Robinson greets you as you walk into Dodger Stadium. It's a 1-1 game in Game 2. National League Championship Series presented by Camping World continues Tuesday at historic Wrigley Field. Dodgers Cubs, it'll be Darvish against Hendricks, 9 p.m. Eastern the start time, 8 o'clock in Chicago. Game 4 Wednesday on TBS. Almora on the first pitch. Morrow back out there, 1 pitch and 1 out. for Brandon Morrow, who on 9 pitches has 4 outs. Joe Madden coming over and looking his reliever in the eyes, say, that's what I'm talking about. He's back.
That's the way you could throw.
Pedro Strop is up under the watchful eye of Lester Strode.
Brandon Morrow in the division series twice won an inning and a third. This season 3 times pitched 2 full innings.
Addison Russell, who hit the home run in the 5th for the lone Cubs run. First home run of the postseason for the Chicago shortstop, after he had 2 last year in the NLCS. And a big swing from Russell. 1-1 the count. Dodger bullpen in this NLCS in the first 2 games have covered 5 1/3 innings, 16 up, 16 down on only 51 pitches. That's pitch number 52 there. So not only are the Cubs not getting on, this bullpen is efficient, keeping them fresh. And with the off days that you have between games 2 and 3 and 5 and 6, you can max out. So we're going to foul out of play by Russell. 2-2 the count. All right, Ronnie, let's take a look at StatCast, powered by Amazon Web Services. The home run of Russell, leading off that 5th inning, just cleared the wall, had some heat on it as it left the bat at 102 miles an hour.
You know, to put that pitch count in perspective, it took 100 pitches for Lester to get through 4 2/3 innings tonight.
Two balls, 2 strikes. Almost a fair ball, just missed the bag at first. It's one thing about Addison Russell, and now that he's healthy and the foot has healed, they took their time with him. But the feet, the legs, so important to hitting. But this is one of the better high velocity hitters the Cubs have. Certainly proved that last year in the postseason. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And a swing and a miss and a breaking ball. Morrow with that nasty slider picks up his 2nd strikeout. Just a reminder, you can head over to TBS Facebook and Twitter. You can watch the bottom of the 7th inning live with our studio personnel, Casey, Chef, Pedro, and Jimmy. 2 outs in the 7th inning. Brandon Morrow trying to give Dave Roberts 6 outs here tonight, with Cingrani getting ready. And as dominant as Morrow looks, Roberts is going to let it ride with Morrow against the left-handed hitting Hayward. Strike 1.
Really think he had Cingrani just in case Morrow got in trouble.
Now remember yesterday, with a left-hander coming up, Roberts took Maeda, a right-hander, out, put Morrow in because of his success against right-handers and left-handed hitters. Boy, that is some kind of nasty right there. That's the breaking ball he just struck out Russell with. And he gets ahead of Hayward here, 0-2. Yikes.
He has pitched 6 innings in this postseason, and that was his 57th pitch.
Had a couple of multi-inning outings in the division series against Arizona. 2 of his 3 appearances. 0-2 the count to Hayward. Little fly ball, shallow center, long run, and it is caught by Taylor. And the inning is over. Brandon Morrow, 6 up, 6 down, 2 strikeouts. Stretch time at Dodger Stadium, all tied at 1. So far we have game 2 of the NLCS, all tied at 1. Each of the runs coming in the 5th inning. Addison Russell with the lone home run. Brian Anderson with Ron Darling. And Ron, you start getting into a game like this, the battle of the bullpens. Figures that the Dodgers might have the advantage, but Joe Maddon's getting great work right now out of his pen.
Well, I think Edwards Jr. was the big difference. He struggled at times in that series, division series, but he was great tonight. Pedro Strop's in. He's going to have to be great because the Dodgers right now, their bullpen, I knew they were good. I didn't know they were this good.
You being a former pitcher, loving these kind of pitchers duels. And it is a battle of the bullpen pitchers as we start this bottom of the 7th with Pedro Strop on to work facing Charlie Culberson. Culberson with the leadoff double in the 5th. He scored the lone run. Driven in by Justin Turner. Changes for the Cubs. They make a double switch. So Zobrist will play right field. Hayward is out. Zobrist will bat second. As we get to the 8th inning. And put Strop in Hayward's spot in the 7th spot in the lineup if you're keeping the book at home. 2-0. Culberson takes a strike from Strop.
You'll see a little gamesmanship from Strop occasionally. He'll quick pitch you with no one on base. You got to be ready at all times. Good fastball, good slider from Strop.
Curtis Granderson due next. Granderson a pinch hit appearance in the 5th inning. And a foul pop. Be his 2nd plate appearance. Carl Edwards Jr. retires 4 in a row with 3 strikeouts. On the ground, right side. Baez will make the play. And there is out number 1.
Left fielder number 6.
See Ryan Dunsing up in the bullpen for the Cubs. That's a good play by Baez. That ball had a little English on it. It's kind of skipped on him. Yeah, see, he's saying it. That ball skipped on me. But his hands are so good, he made the play.
Slick fielding infielder. Baez, shortstop by trade. And here's Granderson, who takes a ball down and in from Strop. Granderson has a little success against Strop. Small sample size, but 3 hits in 8 career at-bats against this pitcher. Anderson takes a strike. Now the Dodgers get 6 outs out of Brandon Morrow. 2 clean innings from the hard-throwing right-hander. Bouncer to Rizzo. 2 outs for Strop.
Center fielder number 3, Chris Taylor.
Madden checking his card. Due up for the Cubs in the 8th will be Baez, then Zobrist, and then back to the top of the order with John Jay. Anybody gets on to extend the inning, you'll start to get into the lumber company of the Cubs with Bryant and then Rizzo. Top of the Dodgers order now. Chris Taylor. Taylor 0 for 3. Did have a line drive out in the 3rd. Culberson and Seager. Culberson replacing Seager on this LCS roster. Well, it's got to be tough for the reigning Rookie of the Year to sit this one out. Tony Watson in the Dodger bullpen, the left-hander. Josh Fields was throwing earlier. Josh Bard, the bullpen coach, monitoring the situation down there. Rich Hill, career high for strikeouts in the postseason here tonight. 3-0. Strop behind Taylor with 2 outs in the 7th. Taylor had 2 hits yesterday, including a home run. And he takes ball 4. The go-ahead run is on in the 7th, and the speedy Chris Taylor carries that go-ahead run with Justin Turner coming up.
Justin Turner.
Hey, a reminder, EJ, Kenny, Charles, and Shaq, they're all back for the NBA on TNT. Opening night 2017 is presented by Auto Trader. Check your local listings. Going to be a great week. NBA gets started right in the middle of the championship series. Bosio working the phones to the bullpen. Runner on Taylor for Turner. 2 outs. Swing and a miss. Got a good cut at it.
It's almost like Turner's trying a situational hit with a guy in first. Hit an extra base hit to try to drive in Taylor.
Much different swing than what we saw in the 5th inning with 2 strikes. Like a tennis backhand, he just served it through the hole between first and second, drove in the tying run. Came with 2 outs and 2 strikes. And it's quickly 0-2 on Turner.
That foul ball broke the board. Right on the eye.
A little higher would have dotted the eye. Cleanup.
Aisle 5. No eye in team, now no eye in camping.
No balls, 2 strikes on Turner. Here's a big pitch from Strop. He deals. Turner takes a ball. Didn't miss by much. Tough guy to strike out. Justin Turner. 1 out of 2 tonight. Had the RBI in the 5th, which was his 7th of the postseason. Playing in his 5th game. Had a 5 RBI game in game 1 of the DS. 2-2 the count.
Look at the outfield defense, about as deep as you can. That's the no doubles defense. Try to keep Turner from hitting the gap.
Jay, Almora, Zobrist, left center to right. Zobrist just into the game. Strop deals, and it's in the dirt. Good block by Contreras. Taylor has to scamper back. The caught stealing has come into play already. Contreras cut down a would-be base stealer back in the 4th inning, getting Puig. And Taylor has been content to stay put on a great block by Contreras.
It's a great block, but Strop didn't make the pitch. Now it's 3-2 with 2 outs, so Taylor will get a nice start at first.
Cubs bullpen in this postseason has issued 16 walks in 22 1/3. Runner goes. Turner fouls it away.
That's why coming into this game we gave that number, 7.08 ERA for the bullpen. A lot of it because of the walks.
Cody Bellinger hoping for a chance to give the Dodgers the lead, perhaps. All tied at 1. Cubs got a homer in the 5th from Russell. Dodgers tied it on a Turner RBI in the bottom of the 5th. Full count. There goes Turner around to Taylor. Turner skies this one to center field. And Almora is there to make the catch to end the inning. And the Cubs bullpen holds serve. A scoreless 7th for Strop. We head to the 8th. Game 2 of the NLCS, all tied at 1. Josh Fields on the pitch for LA. Taking a look inside the numbers presented by SoFi, a modern finance company.
Only perfect for the Dodgers, a bullpen. And we also mentioned just on minimal pitches, they've made it look easy.
Tony Watson continues to throw in the bullpen. Javi Baez will lead off. Cubs batting in the 8th in a 1-1 game. Baez to start it. Zobrist, the switch hitter, is next. That is a swing for Baez. I beg your pardon. That is a check swing, and it's 1-0.
See the numbers for Fields this year in 57 games.
Fields had great numbers post All-Star break, especially. Josh Fields, since the All-Star break, opponent batting average of 102. That was 5th best in the National League as Baez sends one high in the air to center field. Playable for Taylor. Out number 1. 19 straight shut down by the Dodger bullpen.
And no hits for Baez in this series yet.
Dodgers did make a change, a double switch with Jock Peterson playing left field. Takes over for Granderson. Peterson will hit second in the bottom of the 8th inning. And Roberts will take the ball from Fields. And with Zobrist coming up, the switch hitter, the left-hander is coming in. Another pitching change in a tie game in game 2. So much on the line. What a terrific game we have tonight. All tied at 1. Dave Roberts back into his bullpen, and it'll be Tony Watson.
About Tony Watson in the turnaround. Zobrist to only hit 179 from the right-hand side of the plate. He'll face Zobrist and then Jay.
Same scenario as we saw last night. Came in the 8th, retired Zobrist and Jay on a couple of ground ball outs. Took him just 4 pitches to get those 2 outs last night. And if it gets past John Jay in this 8th inning, Dave Roberts has Kenley Jansen warming up in the bullpen. You would figure he'd be up for Bryant. In there for a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike on Zobrist. World Series MVP. Zobrist with his first at bat came in on a double switch last inning. 1-2 now. Chris Bryant is hopeful for a chance in this 8th inning. At this point, due up 3rd. Baez with a fly ball out to start the inning off Fields. The 1-2 to Zobrist. Count will stay at a ball and 2 strikes. Last year, Zobrist in the World Series had 10 hits. 2 RBIs in the World Series in the 7 games, but the biggest RBI of them all in Game 7, the one that won the game for the Cubs. Watson's got him down 1-2. And Zobrist in the air to right. Puig will ease over. 2 outs. Don't forget the E-League Injustice 2 World Championships begin October 27th. Comes your way at 10 p.m. Eastern on TBS. 2 gone in the 8th inning. Back to the top of the lineup, Ronnie and John Jay, with Bryant on deck.
So really what we were talking about before, both managers like to put their relievers in to almost face the same kind of hitters day in and day out.
Jay had a hit to start the game for the Cubs, a single on the first pitch, slow roller to second base. And that's that. Watson, another good job getting Zobrist and Jay. Turns out to be a 3-batter inning, and we are still tied at 1, headed to the bottom of the 8th. Tune in for our Golden State Warriors specials, playoff playbacks, and more as we celebrate Champions Day tomorrow on NBA TV. Check your local listings. MLB postseason on TBS. Game 2 of the National League Championship Series. We are tied at 1. Going to be a last at-bat win for someone tonight as Brian Dunsing takes over for the Cubs. Cody Bellinger leads off, takes strike 1.
Well, lefty-lefty matchup Madden likes, but 12 of the 39 home runs by Bellinger have come against left-handed pitching.
Bellinger will start it. Jock Peterson, who came in on the double switch, will hit second in this inning, and then Logan Forsythe. Bellinger with 18 long balls from the 7th inning on. Not just a power hitter, but a clutch power hitter for the Dodgers this season as he takes a strike. Bender from Dunsing. Hector Rondon getting ready for a potential appearance, perhaps in this inning. And a couple of lefties will start it, Bellinger and Peterson. Bellinger able to lay off. Best left-handed power hitters against left-handed pitchers. 2 of the 3 best are in this series, with Bellinger and Anthony Rizzo. Other on that list is Joey Votto. As far as home runs by left-handed hitters against lefty pitchers, Dunsing misses. 3-2 the count. See what Dunsing has in mind. He deals, and Bellinger gets jammed. A roller over to Rizzo. Race to the bag, and Dunsing is not in time. Dropped the ball. Bellinger reaches. And a man is on for the Dodgers, carrying the go-ahead run of the 8th.
Well, Rizzo gets to the ball, perfect toss, and Dunsing in his haste to use both hands, but just couldn't secure the baseball. Great hustle by Bellinger. Watch Dunsing, looks at the base instead of looking at the ball in the glove, and it cost him.
Wow.
Should be an error on the pitcher.
Be a huge play. The error puts a man on. And now Jock Peterson is coming up. His first postseason at bat. Was not on the NLDS roster. By the way, they score that as a hit for Bellinger. So not an error. It's going to be an infield single for Bellinger.
They can call it whatever they want. Pitcher's supposed to make that play.
Make that play, right? Jock Peterson shows bunt, gets the bunt down. It's a good one. Rizzo puts the tag on him, and there is out number 1. A sacrifice bunt puts the go-ahead run in scoring position. First pitch he sees of the postseason this season, and he puts down a perfect bunt.
But nice execution by Peterson as he hustles down that first base line. It was the hustle of Bellinger that made that play tough for Dunsing as he dropped the ball, and now great hustle by Peterson to get that bunt down.
Had 0 sacrifice bunts in the regular season. Jock Peterson lays a big one down here in the 8th. 1 out. They're going to walk Forsythe. The intentional walk to put runners at first and second. Cubs are going to take a shot at a double play to get him out of this inning. Where you saw Rondon loosening in the bullpen, the right-hander, with Barnes coming up. A fantastic season in the clutch for Barnes, a .328 hitter with runners in scoring position this year. Breakout year for the Dodger catcher. Madden's going to let it ride with Dunsing. 2 on, 1 away. And now Chris Bosio is on his way out. We'll see if this is a game plan meeting with Barnes at the plate or a stall visit to try to get Rondon a few extra tosses.
I don't know. Rondon has been throwing for some time. He should be ready. I think it's a reluctance of Madden to go to Rondon in this situation. He's trying to get the ground ball from Dunsing.
There is an at-bat that Rondon is preparing for, just not sure who it will come against.
I think this is a case for me that Madden has more confidence in Dunsing than he does in Rondon. Remember, Rondon last night gave up the go-ahead home run to Chris Taylor.
What a spot. The Cubs will have Bryant, Rizzo, and Contreras coming up in the 9th inning. The Dodgers are threatening here. 2 on, 1 away. 1 ball, no strikes on Barnes. That one's in there. A spinner for a strike. Dunsing can cover some velocity on the spectrum as low as 71, 72 miles an hour. Can go plus 20 on the fastball if need be. There's a lot of surface area to cover. Cubs are set up to turn 2, looking for one on the ground. And Barnes hits one on the ground, right to short. Russell to Baez, throw to first, in time! A double play! Brian Dunsing comes up with the twin killing. The pitcher's best friend. All the oldest cliches. They're cliches because they're true. And the Cubs escape. We're still tied, and the big boys are coming up in the ninth. Stay tuned after the game for the postseason show on TBS, presented by the Lincoln Motor Company. Key double play for the Cubs. Dunsing gets 2 with 1 swing of the bat. Still tied as we head to the ninth. These 3 coming up. The numbers against Kenley Jansen in their career.
He's got to go through the meat of the order. Faced 4 hitters yesterday. Struck out all 4.
Bryant leads off. First pitch swinging. Cuts right through it.
Jansen just seems unhittable, but he did give up 5 bombs this summer.
So Rizzo has homered off Kenley Jansen. We started our broadcast tonight, Ron, talking about the Cubs offense, specifically Bryant and Rizzo. Carried this ball club all season long, and now stepping into a big spot here as Bryant fouls it back. In the game of attrition, the Dodgers have the upper hand here because Jansen has the ability to go 2 innings, 2+ innings if need be, with a day off tomorrow. No balls, 2 strikes on Bryant. Hesitation, and Bryant fouls it away.
Well, that's what you'll get from Jansen, is when he first came up, he was really a guy just reared back and fired the ball. But right now he has a pause in his motion. He will throw multiple pitches. He's thrown his slider more than he ever has.
One of the best closers in the game against the reigning MVP in the National League. What a matchup. 0-2 pitch. Hit tight. Busted him inside. And it goes to a ball and 2 strikes.
They're trying to keep the ball up on Bryant, whose power is down in the strike zone.
Skim the knuckles. Jansen notched a save last night. His 3rd save in the first 4 games of this postseason. And a swing and a miss. Bryant down on strikes. Jansen with the K to start the 9th inning.
And he has this fastball that has a cutting action on it that works its way away from Bryant and his bat.
That finishing kick that Jansen has. Bryant right under it. 1 away, and here is Rizzo now. Rizzo is hitless tonight. He and Bryant combined to go 0 for 7 at this point. Rizzo's 0 for 3 with 2 Ks. And that hit him. Rizzo drilled by the pitch, standing right on top of the plate. And the Cubs have a man on, and concern for Anthony Rizzo. That is a dangerous area to be hit.
Looked like it got him right on the hands. Shaking his head like he's fine. Yeah, right on the back of the right hand of Rizzo.
A lot can go wrong around that area. But Rizzo waves off Joe Madden. The athletic training staff says he's good to go. So now the Cubs with the go-ahead run at first base, and here comes Wilson Contreras. Rizzo led the National League in hit by pitches this year. 24 times he was drilled. Stage is set now for Contreras. Contreras 0 for 3 tonight with 2 strikeouts as well. Big swing and a miss. I think he knocked the ball out on the follow through. So a dead ball. Rizzo started then stopped. Looked like he wanted to run. Now look at that right hand. It's the right hand of Rizzo just hit. Got some swelling already.
If you don't pay attention, Rizzo will steal a bag on you.
And Jansen a courtesy check. In case you're wondering, and Rizzo is not a base stealer per se, but against Kenley Jansen, that is the one area you can exploit if you can get on against this guy. He's allowed 50 steals in 55 attempts in his career. Takes a while to unload it. Rizzo looks like he wants to run. And a swing and a miss. Defensive hack by Contreras. And it's 0-2.
We keep putting up these postseason numbers for Cubs hitters, and they're all under 200.
Rizzo reaching on that hit by pitch, the first base runner the Cubs have had against the Dodger bullpen in this series. And snapped a string of 22 consecutive outs for the Dodger bullpen against the Cubs. Contreras homered in game 2 of the division series against Washington. He's got plenty of pop. Hit 21 during the regular season. And another check on Rizzo. Options for Joe Madden. Wade Davis on the right if the Cubs should take the lead, you would imagine. If not, if it stays tied, John Lackey, who pitched last night. 0-2 the count on the Cubs catcher. Long pause. Here he comes. And a swing and a miss. He struck him out. Jansen goes up the ladder for the strikeout. 2 outs in the inning.
Jansen now has faced 7 hitters, hit 1, and struck out the other 6.
2 outs, 2 Ks for Jansen. And here is Albert Almora Jr. Launched a 2-run home run yesterday. Almora's 0 for 3. Cubs have only 3 hits. Now the outfield for the Dodgers is very deep. It's going to be tough to score him on a base hit. So the decision, do you try to send Rizzo to put a runner in scoring position? Are you playing for the long ball here? Jansen doesn't give up many. But what are the odds against 2 hits to drive in a run? A stolen base could be huge here if you can get there.
Yeah, almost impossible against Jansen, as the Cubs hitters are swinging at that high fastball. Yeah, I would take a chance if I were Rizzo at first. That's a signal for a slide step from Barnes, and then fastball up.
Here it comes, and a swing and a miss. No balls, 2 strikes.
Jansen doing just enough to keep Rizzo close.
The Dodgers in the 9th will have Yasiel Puig to lead off. Jansen trying to get him there, still tied. No balls, 2 strikes. Rizzo goes, swinging a foul. Chased one up around the shoulders, did Almora. How do you foul this one off, Ron?
Oh boy, just tomahawked it to get a piece.
I've heard of letter high. That was jaw high. You're swinging at that up there. Certainly opens up some windows for Jansen to work. With that great cut fastball he has. 0-2 pitch. He goes back up there on the ground with Rizzo on the move. Culberson across the diamond in time. Jansen holds serve. Still tied. We head to the bottom of the 9th. And Yasiel Puig will lead off. The 2017 National League Championship Series is presented by Camping World, where we are set up for some kind of finish here tonight. It's going to be elation and a gut punch for someone here tonight. All tied, bottom of the 9th inning. The Dodgers are coming up. Brian Dunsing will remain in the game, the left-hander, as Yasiel Puig is coming to the plate.
15 times this year he's pitched more than an inning has Dunsing.
And the lefty-righty splits for the season. This is Puig against left-handed pitching at 183. The reason Madden lets it ride with this left-hander. It's been a different story in the postseason for Puig, though. He's done damage against lefties. 34-year-old Brian Dunsing back out there. Second inning. The Dodgers have 10 walk-off wins this season by 9 different players. Yasiel Puig, the last to do it in a game, an interleague game against the White Sox in mid-August. 2-0 the count. Pitch down and away. 3 balls, no strikes.
Not even close here by Dunsing.
Puig tracking it all the way with 55,000 chanting his name. Coming inside. Puig takes ball 4. And speed on the bases to start the inning for Los Angeles. A leadoff walk. Lackey, the lone man in the bullpen right now. Madden's going to stick with Dunsing. Culberson likely up there to bunt. Dodgers got a sacrifice bunt from Jock Peterson last inning. Culberson squares early.
We've seen the Cubs be very aggressive with their corner infielders in a bunting situation, both Brian and Rizzo.
Shows it early, does Culberson. And gets the bunt down. It's a good one. Rizzo's only play is first, and the Dodgers are set up now. That is the potential winning run. Puig is shaken up after that slide into second base. Culberson with an excellent bunt to put the runner in scoring position.
Well, not taking anything for granted, Puig sliding into second base awkwardly and rolling right over the bag. He didn't know if Rizzo was going to try to make a play on him, but he's always in the middle of the action, isn't he?
Pinch hitter coming up. Kyle Farmer. Dodgers deciding to carry a third catcher. Farmer gets the spot. And Farmer takes a strike. Farmer's first hit for the Dodgers was a walk-off this year. He's delivered in the clutch. Dunsing deals, and Farmer takes a ball down and in. 1 ball, 1 strike. Leadoff walk followed by a sacrifice bunt. The numbers for Farmer this year off the bench. It's been a good part of the season in the minor leagues. What a moment for him. The 1-1. Wave and a miss. Dunsing went soft, and Farmer was way out in front.
All breaking pitches so far from Dunsing against Farmer. This one a good one outside.
Farmer had just 20 at-bats in the big leagues this year. He was a 300-plus hitter in the minor leagues this season. Double A and Triple A. 1-2 the count, and it is low Ball 2. Leadoff walk for Puig at second on the bunt. Cubs outfield easing in. Their Gold Glove outfielder Hayward was taken out on a double switch. Best arm in center field right now. And the pitch is just outside. Ball 3. Top of the order due next. Chris Taylor waiting on deck. Farmer could end it if it touches the outfield grass. Three-two pitch and a swing and a miss. Dunsing with a big strikeout. Farmer is gone. 2 outs in the inning now as the Dodgers go back to the top of the order.
Boy, how clutch has Brian Dunsing been. Last inning with a double play, and here with the excellent changeup to Farmer.
When the pressure is at its peak, Dunsing was able to go soft, and he gets a key strikeout. And Joe Madden is going to bring on John Lackey with Chris Taylor coming up and the game on the line.
John Lackey has never pitched on consecutive days in his entire career. Oh.
Game 2 of the NLCS is on the line, and Joe Madden is going with his grizzled old veteran out of the bullpen. John Lackey will pitch in the second consecutive game with an inning and 2/3 yesterday.
Never done that in his career. Joe Madden told us before the game John Lackey wants the ball. Well, he's got it. And Leonis Martin comes in to play center field, and the double switch. He probably has one of the best arms in all the game.
Martin, if the Cubs can survive to the 10th, Martin would hit second. You'd have Addison Russell lead off, then Martin, then Baez. Here we go. Lackey against Taylor. Winning run at second base. Taylor takes a strike. Taylor has only 3 at-bats against John Lackey. 1 hit. It was a homer. Had a go-ahead home run yesterday, did Taylor. Gave the Dodgers the lead for good. Had a walk-off earlier this year, back in July against Arizona. Lackey deals. Taylor takes a ball. 1-1 the count. How about a game that is started by John Lester And now we're seeing Lackey here in the 9th inning. Postseason pedigree that you cannot measure.
Off the charts.
And that's what Madden is counting on here with Lackey. Yeah, Contreras is coming out. Yasiel Puig's been standing at second base for a long time now. You get paranoid about sign stealing in spots like this, and I'm sure the Cubs want to change it up a little bit.
Well, I think that Contreras and Lackey are having trouble getting on the same page. So what you do if you're a veteran pitcher, you tell Contreras probably maybe a 2 or 3 pitch sequence of what you want to do.
Puig carries the winning run. Taylor takes a breaking ball low. 2 balls and a strike. If Taylor should reach and the game does not end, then Justin Turner would hit. Dodgers are right where they want to be in their batting order for a spot like this. Two balls and a strike. Lackey deals, and a good block by Contreras. Keeps Puig from going to third, but now 3-1. How about this play?
You know, when you're a catcher, you expect a 2-1 breaking ball is going to be close, thrown for a strike. Backhands it like an infielder.
Not exactly textbook, but he did the job.
Got it done.
Changes everything if Puig ends up at third base. Then you bring in the wild pitch. He's still at second. Hitters count 3-1. And Taylor with a swing and a miss. Full count to the Dodger leadoff hitter.
You watch the Dodgers all season. Look at Puig at second base. He's going to have to be careful with Contreras' arm.
Puig can motor. All 3 outfielders for the Cubs have accurate arms, but you wouldn't say Jay or Zobrist have strong arms. The center fielder Martin has a cannon in center field. Puig's going to be off with a crack of the bat. He's got a big lead. Multiple signs, and now Lackey wants to step off and start over.
Well, he's gotten his 2 strikes on fastballs in. It's the breaking ball that Taylor's been able to lay off of.
Taylor trying to end it. Lackey trying to get it to extra innings, and again steps off. I don't know if Lackey doesn't have the pitch he wants, or if he's just toying with Taylor right now, trying to build the drama, icing the kicker.
I think it's more gamesmanship. Absolutely.
Taylor's had a great postseason. He's had a great year. And finally, Contreras says, I give up. I'm coming out. Baez on his way in. Might not even be a signal for this pitch.
But Baez wants to know what pitch it is for his defensive positioning.
Well, how good is this? I mean, this is big league baseball right here. High tension with game 2 on the line. Full count. Here he comes. And it's outside. Ball 4. And the last guy the Cubs want to see right now is coming up. Justin Turner.
Turner drove in the only run for the Dodgers in the 5th inning when he drove in Culberson on a base hit to right field.
And he had a base hit against Lackey last night. 3 for 6 against John Lackey. He's been as clutch as the Dodgers have. There is a force now at the 3 bases. Only run that matters is the runner at second base in Puig. Lackey delivers in the dirt, and again Contreras keeps it in front. This kid's making some plays back there.
And another spiked breaking ball that Contreras blocks beautifully.
Turner was one of the 10 walk-off hits this year. Had one against Minnesota in late July. And Turner in the air to center field. That ball's hit well. Martinez on the run. This is way back, and it is gone! It is a walk-off home run for Justin Turner!
After getting behind, came in with the fastball right there, and Turner didn't miss it. That high leg kick, that long extension and follow through. He grew up a Dodger fan, now he's part of Dodger history.
Long beats to Cal State Fullerton. And one of the biggest moments of his life, Justin Turner, a 3-run walk-off home run. The Dodgers win Game 2 in thrilling fashion. Gets an early shower. Take it away, Sam.
As he just got doused with Gatorade, revoked and a little Powerade. The mic may be crackling a bit. I think you can hear me. This crowd, this moment for you, Justin. You have the 2 runners on. You've been doing it with runners in scoring position all postseason. What was your approach there? What'd you see?
Just the quality of bats of the guys in front of us. You know, Yossi doesn't try to get too anxious in a big spot. Takes the leadoff walk, and then CT has a hell of a bat to get on. And, you know, not really a whole lot for him to do other than to attack me and try to get a good pitch up in the zone and put a good swing on it.
Earlier driving in Culberson, now 2 games in a row this team trailed. You went through the struggles in August and into September as a team. What can you say about the resiliency of this team?
Yeah, like you said, we've been doing it all year long. We never out of a game. As long as we have outs left, we're going to keep fighting. And again, Rich Hill, outstanding job tonight. Bullpen comes in, keeps throwing up zeros, and gives us a chance, puts us in a position to win a game.
You go into Chicago now, a 2-0 series lead. You think about this, obviously it's a best of 7, but to go in there with a comfortable lead, what does that mean to you guys?
Yeah, it's huge. We're going to enjoy this one for a little bit and then get to Chicago and figure out how to win another game. I don't know what day the games is.
1988, Kirk Gibson had a walk-off for the Dodgers. This is the first walk-off in the postseason since that moment. When you think about that and the big picture, and I know you're thinking about that at that moment, how do you put that into perspective?
Incredible. I think that's the first walk-off homer I've ever hit in my life. So, you know, growing up here, coming back signing with the Dodgers, I tell everyone all the time, one of my earliest baseball memories, I was 4 years old at my grandma's house watching that game in '88 and seeing Gibby hit that homer. So, yeah, it feels pretty cool. I thought about doing the fist bump around the bases, but we'll wait till we get to the World Series for that, hopefully.
And in Game 2, it is Justin Turner. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Guys, back to you.
An incredible moment. 1988, Kirk Gibson, 29 years ago to the date. And here is Turner, who does it again at Dodger Stadium. What a moment for Justin Turner. Take a look at tonight's Cars.com 5-tool play of the game. What else would it be, Rondon?
Well, think about it. At the very end, the Dodgers have Kenley Jansen on the mound, and the Cubs have John Lackey on the mound. That was the difference, the bullpens.
Get the car shopping tools you need at Cars.com. Lackey coming back on back-to-back games, and Justin Turner with the signature moment of the 2017 postseason. Not just a walk-off hit, but a walk-off 3-run home run. And from the Cubs' perspective, how devastated they must be. And the guy who caught the ball was a great catch, by the way. Yeah, he is internet famous now, TV famous as well.
I mean, a bomb from Turner. A great catch by the fan. But by the way, Justin might want that back.
Yeah. I'm sure he might be able to bargain for it. Said he thought about pumping the fist. Kenley Jansen, the winning pitcher tonight. 3 saves and a win already for Jansen. And Joe Madden gives you all the expression you need from the Chicago Cubs. Devastating loss for the Cubs. Had their chances. Had the middle of their order coming up in a tie game.
And again, it's the walks by the bullpen of the Cubs that really set up that entire inning.
Back down to Sam Ryan with the winner tonight, Kenley Jansen.
Kenley Jansen, you get the win in this one. Obviously, the 4-out save yesterday. You have a little bit of traffic there. Rizzo's on base after the hit by pitch. Your approach there to get the next 2 outs.
I just got to stay focused. I mean, you don't want to lose Anthony Rizzo there. So, you know, it sucks hitting him, but I gotta stay focused, and that's what I did. Tried to keep him. I know he wants to run there, and I just tried to make sure I'm quick to home plate and make sure I keep making pitches.
Before the game, I was talking to Rick Honeycutt. He said it's all about getting the ball to you with this bullpen. Do you look at this bullpen, you see what they've done before they get the ball to you? How much confidence do you have in everyone?
You know, I have a lot of confidence in all the guys in the bullpen. I mean, they've been huge this whole season. There's a reason why we have the best bullpen nationally. I mean, we've been grinding the whole year, and we're going to continue to do that. And for me, I just try to do my part and help the team win.
So you see Justin Turner come up with 2 runners aboard. You see what he's done this postseason with runners in scoring position. Your reaction when you see him?
It's awesome. I mean, we've been seeing this the whole year this year. We come from behind so many times this year. And every day someone in a 25-man roster is stepping up and do that. And today, JT comes big. It's huge. You know, it's a great boost for us. And now we just got to go keep putting the pressure on him when we go back to Wrigley Field.
Congratulations, Kenley.
All right, thank you.
Guys, back to you.
Kenley Jansen gets the win. The Chicago Cubs are on their perspective going back to Wrigley now down 0-2 after this gut punch.
Well, think about it. It's 2 tough games and they're down 2 low. But last year they were down 3-1 in the World Series too, and they came back. They're going back to Wrigley Field. They want to raise the flag.
Stay hopeful, Chicago. Cubs are coming home. Tuesday night, Game 3. This one belongs to the Dodgers, though. A walk-off 3-run home run by Justin Turner to end this one. What a finish. For Ron Darling, Sam Ryan, the rest of our terrific crew, led in the truck by Scott Cockrell and Matt Lipp. I'm Brian Anderson saying goodbye from Dodger Stadium. NLCS Game 3, Tuesday, 9 Eastern in Chicago at Wrigley. You've been watching MLB on TBS, your exclusive home for the 2017 NLCS. Now let's send it to Casey Stern with the postseason show on TBS, presented by the Lincoln Motor Company.